Oh no, no, it was good that you turned it on. That's what I was saying. You seem to be struggling with getting the password, so it's like I'll put it in there for you. Well, it might be Craig's. I don't know. We'll have people jumping in and out. So you're welcome to jump in for a little bit. I imagine it's going to be a rotating crew tonight. Welcome to anyone viewing already. We're just about to start the semifinal game of the Nutmeg Curling Club Tuesday night competitive league playoffs. We use a page system, so we're down to 3 teams, and it'll be Team Mayne playing against Team Zaken in our first draw. The winner of this will go on to play Team Quan at about 9 o'clock tonight in about 2 hours, depending on this one wraps up. I am mic'd in. Oh, I had an extra large probably. Wow. A price, I think it says, yeah. All right, just looking at our t-shirts for the an upcoming Bonspiel. And we're off. And yes, and first rock through. Ice might be a little faster than they expected. Sometimes the Tuesday ice has been faster on the first draw than a lot of nights. Good.
They scrape in the morning.
Scraping in the morning, yeah. So, Carl Bockley throwing the first rock of the game.
Hi, Ed.
How you doing, Craig?
I'm doing good.
That's Craig stepping in on the second mic here.
Second mic. Michael Parker sitting next to me. Also close enough to get some comments in.
I'm no Al Winter, but I'll try.
We try not to do that. We try not to get comments from behind the mics. So Nigel Lucas throws quarter guard for his first rock. Very successful start. The hammer. This is the semifinal. Yes, the winner will play Team Quan at 9 o'clock tonight for the championship.
For the championship.
So Team Mayne got here by losing the 1-2 page game last week. They lost to Team Quan. They're still alive after their very good regular season. Team Zaken was the 3 seed and beat the 4 seed Gibbons last week to make it to the semifinal.
And Team Zaken is not being led by Zaken.
Apparently, we got a lot of echo in the mics. So.
Yeah.
He goes by many.
He does, Fabian, right? I do.
He knows you're speaking to him.
We'll work
He
on
introduced
that.
himself as Fabian.
So Ellie is skipping for Mark.
Yeah. Here's the case.
I just saw the son.
Whoops. Trying to get rid of a little reverb.
Yeah, apparently your mic is fine. I think it's here. Let me have your mic. I think it is actually your headset that's doing it.
Right, Mike?
So let's see. If that's
How's that? Is that better?
Yours was fine.
How's
Question.
that first yellow rock?
Through. Yeah.
I can't tell. It's going to depend when people tell me if it's. I can't tell from just us talking. So.
Yeah. Anybody watching us?
We have 4 viewers, but Larry was sending me some texts, so he can let me know if still getting or what's going on.
Gonna go for the double.
Could.
They come across the face enough. He can split them both out. I think there's enough room.
Yeah, there absolutely is. You can
Yeah.
definitely double them out.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
a little tricky. It's very easy to jam.
Jam.
Back. But definitely there. You actually probably want to play it on the left side of the rock, but play it on the high side if you can. But you may have just seen that one right.
Gonna get the peel.
Just a piece. You get
Yep.
enough to knock it at least. Yeah, that's good. It's sort of one rock, but Zaken's still sitting one there on top of the forefoot.
I do not hear you in my mic. It doesn't really matter. I can hear you, but
I turned it down to try
Okay.
to avoid some of the
feedback.
feedback that people were hearing. There's no particular reason why mine should have more echo than yours, but that might have been it. Might have been coming through the headset.
Yeah.
Here, I can turn it back up a little bit. Yeah, take it off. Get a little.
Just a tiny bit. I mean, it doesn't really matter. I can hear you.
Yeah. All right.
So now the double's easier. That came across the center line a little too much.
Yeah.
Just hit the nose and he gets rid of both of them.
Double with no jam there.
Yeah. Oh, he's gonna over curl. It's gonna get the jam.
Get one. Just barely get one.
Yeah. He actually curled a bunch. An early miss there.
Killer, still the same. I'm not sure what to tell you. But I'll work on it a little bit.
What did he say?
It's just it hasn't changed. Mine's still no particular reason mine should be echoey. But
Oh, Brian Walker throwing the guard, wanting it to be just in. Gonna get a guarded halfway.
I can't see any reason why I should be echoey, but the mics are at the same level, and turn down the only place you should get feedback would be
In this mic.
Thanks, Britt. Yeah, I don't know what the issue is though. So
Yeah, now I can hear you just a little bit, but it doesn't sounds okay.
Professor Biology, right?
Yeah. You're a biologist?
Brian is.
Oh.
Yeah.
I was like, I didn't know you guys worked in the same department.
No, that would be a little awkward.
Although the biology department at Fairfield does have a couple that has one position. Two people in one
Oh.
position. Yeah, it's unusual, but
I've never heard of that.
yeah. Not germane to curling, but just hit the guy on the button and roll over, right?
you may still want to play both. I don't
Yeah.
know for sure.
Hey, you may want to roll to the left so you can get rid of the other one. You know, roll underneath the guard on the left. Although it's, yeah, it is their guard.
So he's just trying to hit and roll under.
Yeah. Lots of sweeping. Oh, now they're off. Yep, they're back on it.
This is really
It's gonna roll the other way. It's gonna chip the guard. Chip the front one out. Yep.
That's not bad though.
Yeah.
Made one go.
No, that's fine.
Yeah. force him to put it back.
I mean, I glanced up halfway down the ice and knew it curled a lot on it. This sheet's kind of deceiving because it curl a lot.
Sheet B had a lot of curl on it the other day when I played.
Plus, what rock was that? Red?
It was Red's number 6.
Yellow rocks on the sheet. 7 and 8 run real straight.
Oh. Good, Mike?
Might be nice. All right.
So what's happening in the men's worlds? The Las Vegas tournament.
Oh, they're still pretty early. Most teams play. Check the standings real quick.
Yeah.
We have that available to us. The U.S. is not playing very well so far.
Oh, but there's still time for them to crawl back into it.
Possibly. I mean, they have to really.
Yeah.
They're
Ooh.
1-5 right now.
Oh, that would be not very well.
The top 6 will make the playoffs. Out of the 13
Yeah.
teams. So Sweden is 6-0. We knew that. Canada 5-1. Scotland 5-1. Norway 4-1. Your leaders right now.
So we got our work cut out for us.
Yeah, a little bit. Sorry for having audio problems with my mic. I don't know any
Ed,
other-
do you want to switch mics?
No, that's fine. We'll just know which one's good for later. Right now, I'd rather just play around with things a little bit. See what's going on.
You interested in going? They go to New Jersey game 3.
All right, he's going for the it looks like he's just trying to come down and bump it back, not do the takeout. And they're on it really hard.
Yeah, it doesn't need to hit it very
Down
hard at
weight
all. It needs
take.
to get by and
Gonna get the roll, a little too much
But-
roll.
a little too much roll. Still sitting second. Now actually push that back yellow behind cover.
Yeah, yeah. But they can come sit on the yellow now, can't they?
Why wouldn't you just come down?
Oh, I'm sorry, yellow. Yeah.
Or even bump it back. Bring 3 into play.
Yeah, and then
Yeah.
if you're bumping on the next one, you got
Just sounding better. Okay. Well, that's good. I played around with something to see if I could make it a little better. So that's good. All right. Yeah, I mean, there's a few options you can guard. But with only one rock left, you're pretty well guarded already. It's not an easy hit, though it's there. So you can also split, which pretty much
Come down
guarantees a
and sit on
force.
this other red.
Yeah, so if we go
Peek out,
back,
too.
you can sit on the red.
Yeah.
The thing is, it doesn't really matter if you're sitting there or you're just out counting it, as long as you're close to it. And out counting it at this point, because there's only one more rock left anyway.
Yeah.
If you put it in a place where it's difficult to remove, Sean's just going to draw for one. He's not going to go for the hit.
Right.
If you're
Draw the
if you're
4
half
foot.
behind the red and in front of the other, if you're half behind the red guard and in front of the other red rock, you're not going to hit it because
I
it's
guess
very
the best
difficult
way to
get
get
rid
the
of.
steal, though, would be to put one up right on the biting the 8 foot in the center and guard.
Well, if you actually really want to steal, probably the easiest thing would just be to guard your counter and let him draw for one.
Mm-hmm.
So this is very light. If it ends up guarding the
they're
draw line,
across.
you'll at least
They're gonna
force
they're
him to
gonna get
hit.
it.
Yeah.
Got to
Just
curl
so-
a bit more.
Okay, so it doesn't
Okay.
really guard the
Yeah.
shot rock any more than it was already guarded,
Right.
which means
He
he will
need
have.
another stone with a curl.
I expect Sean to play a kind of a
Oh, he's gonna throw
back line. Yeah, hack's plenty. You
Okay.
don't even need to throw
through the
hack.
gap, chip
just
it
need
out
to
and
get
get
there
2.
and move it a foot.
I don't
Not
know.
even.
This is gonna run real straight.
And if he doesn't get, if he just chips it out and peels, he gets his 1.
Yeah, if you move it a foot and you roll out, you still
Yeah.
get one. Yeah.
It is
Yeah.
very possible on this shot to end up taking that red and bumping the yellow.
Yeah, you can see about
That too. Yeah.
from the lefty hack side. You can see about a little over half of the stone.
Yeah.
I mean, We've been playing this line a lot at the Learn to Curls. I don't think it runs that straight this far out from the wall. It hasn't been in the last week or two. Anyway,
It's been curling back.
it's been curling back as long as you're not getting real close to the wall.
Yeah. All right. Shots on the way. Sweepers are on it.
Oh, there.
A little bit.
Yeah.
No,
But he's
gotta
all
curl
over that.
back.
Just not curl.
Yeah, he's just going straight. He threw a lot of weight at that, too.
Oh, and he chipped the guard.
Yeah.
On yellow.
Yeah, that was a solid control weight hit there. He ended up throwing because that rock went right through the wall
Yeah.
and not on nose. That's all
It's a
right.
little too heavy.
He gives up one, retains the hammer for the second end. So we'll update the scoreboard for the folks viewing at home. And that'll be one yellow, steal one in the first end for Team Zaken, so they're off to
So
a good
Team
start.
Zaken must have, they won last week to get into this.
Yes, they were the winner of the 3-4 game, so they're the
Yeah.
lower seed for this game.
Right.
The winner of this game will be the lower seed for the final. Even if it's Team Mayne, who is the number 1 seed overall, they'll be considered the low seed, and Team Quan will have hammer and choice of rocks for the final by virtue of winning that game last week. So let's switch over to the near house viewing.
Center line guard coming down, but it looks like it might just slide into the house. Yep, it's going to be in.
Turn that instant replay on
It's
for
okay.
future use.
Top 4. What's that?
I said I had to turn the instant replay on for future use, you know?
Yes.
So. Yeah, I think what you guys were getting, they're saying it's better now, is actually was my headset was too loud.
No, now I can hear you fine, and it's not too loud at all.
Right, my headset was too loud, so what was happening was you can usually hear yourself a little bit, but this was loud enough that I could hear myself, and then it was getting picked up on the mic the second time.
Got it.
So that's
it was
why.
feeding back.
Yeah, yeah.
They're throwing a take. And it's a little bit narrow, but looks like they're going to get it.
Yeah, still playing it pretty safe here in the second. And if they really wanted to go after a score, they would, big score. They're hard for 2 or 3. They'd ignore it and throw up a guard. But early enough in the game, I imagine Sean wants to play it like he's the like he's
get
the
warmed
favorite.
up, and get his one.
Too, and,
Or
and
two.
just play it nice and conservative for a while, unless he really falls behind or it gets late in the game. I would expect him to continue playing that way. So if you're a Nutmeg viewer and you know who these curlers are, but you're wondering why Team Zaken doesn't have a Zaken on it tonight, the Zakens are actually out in Las Vegas watching that World Men's Championship. So their team tonight
So they're
has
barely a legal team, but they're
no,
in
they've
the
got 3.
semifinal.
They've got 3 players.
Oh, that's right.
tonight.
Because Brian
So-
was the 5th. Yes.
Yeah. So we have Carl Bockley throwing right now.
Well, Brian's getting a workout because he hasn't been curling a whole lot. He thought.
No, just the last couple months he's been back into
Yeah.
it. But Brian Walker is playing second. Jonathan Corelli is the sub for the team and is vicing, I believe. Is it the other way around? I think Corelli's playing second. Brian's vicing. I'll have to watch the throwing order.
Brian's vice.
Yes, that's what I thought. So Jonathan Corelli's playing second, and Brian Walker is vicing, and then Ellie Bockley is skipping, and she skipped several games for them this year, so that's something she's used to doing. She's certainly been a
Corelli
Tuesday
has
night
been
skip in
jumping
previous
into
years,
every
too.
game he can. He's been playing a lot lately.
Yeah. For Team Mayne, this is pretty much their normal lineup. They do have 5 players, but 4 of their 5 players are in the game.
They're going for the take, and it's
Yeah.
a little narrow, but they're sweeping hard. They're going to get it, no problem.
Should get there, may remove it.
Oh,
Yep. Just enough to get it out of there, I think. Yeah, that'll do the job.
Good peel.
So for that was Nigel Lucas playing lead for Team Mayne, who just threw. Mike McCarthy's playing second. Craig Doucette is the vice, and Sean Mayne, who is skipping tonight, and always for their team whenever he's here.
Who won last year?
I seem to remember it was Team Simio won last year.
Oh,
That was
it
my
was
team
you.
won last year. We did not make the play. We actually missed out on the playoffs by just a couple points. 1 point. We lost our last game with a chance. We would have made the playoffs had we won our last game, but we did not. So we finished up in 5th place. Yeah.
1 point.
Yeah. Well, the first 2 teams, the 1 and 2 seeds, got out a little bit ahead. Not even some years we've had. If you've been playing in this long enough, Craig, we've had years where teams were 5-6 games or more. Basically ahead of the pack, and This year, Team Mayne and Quan both played well all season, but had periods where they were down, so they never really got way out in front. But they ended up about, I want to say, Mayne might have been 12 points ahead of the last two playoff teams, and Quan 8 points. So they were a little bit ahead of the.
Well, last year was a high water
mark. The 3 through
for,
6 teams, or 3 through 7 teams, really were all within one game of each other.
Yeah.
So it was a very
competitive,
very tight field for those last two spots.
Well, that's good. And now we're going to have this nice big influx of new curlers with the
it should be
3 full greenhorn leagues.
Yeah, we have a.
It looks like, unfortunately, it's going to be a flash.
Yeah, that's just might catch it and
just
remove it.
And they're going to be chipped at just
had enough
to get rid
weight.
of it. Yep.
Yeah, had enough weight there to survive sort of a miss. We're going to have a lot of new curlers. It probably won't affect the Tuesday league next year because the new curlers won't be playing so much there, but our other leagues will blossom. And
but it'll fill up the other leagues.
Yeah, and I think
great.
2 or 3 years from now, we're going to see a lot more competition for getting into Tuesday, unless we have a lot of attrition. I mean, because a lot of those curlers start wanting to do that. And even in the second year, you probably won't see any of those people skipping a Tuesday night game, but you'll start to see them filling in the front ends. People find who they like and who's playing well in their first year.
The good news is we'll probably be sending multiple Dykes teams to the Dykes for a while.
Yeah, and the Kaiser and the Childs. Hopefully, we want to get all those things.
Get all those 5 and under curlers out there and getting them.
It'll be great.
Them into Von Spieling. There's a beautiful center line guard.
It just caught the top of the house.
They went ahead and swept it up to let it bite.
Fine at this point. If you were really, really playing hard to steal, you'd probably want it high up as a higher guard, not real tight.
Yeah.
But a guard that's 1 inch out or 1 inch in is effectively the same thing at this point without the free guards in. So in that sense, it doesn't matter if it's in or not. I think now the only problem with putting it that close is that Team Mayne is probably going to look to play for a blankless end at this point. It's going to be hard for them to set anything up. Yeah. They can hit and roll on the rings now.
We'll put one way out in the wings.
Yeah, well, they can hit and roll on.
Yeah.
So
what happens if we have more teams that want to play on Tuesday night? It's in my experience. I know when I first started, there was a couple years. And do they have a playoff? Do they have?
Well, we
play
never
into
quite.
The Tuesday night
I don't know, unless it was the year. I don't think they ever quite filled. I think they might have the year before I played. You might be right. At the time that they were holding it 12, and then they ended up making it 14 to accommodate more teams. I don't think we've ever had the problem since we've expanded to 14.
Mm-hmm.
If we did, there'd be a play-in, and we have rules for how many teams automatically qualify and who has to play in beyond that. But in theory, the play-in would be a sort of as much a double elimination deal as we could. So say if there were 15 teams for 14 spots, the top 11 returning teams would guarantee, and then the other 4 teams would play a one night. And if you win your first game, you're in, and the 2 losers would play a second game, and the winner of that game would be. It's only one team would get eliminated out of those 4. Yeah.
That could happen in a few years.
It's certainly possible at some point, especially like you said with the big influx of greenhorns we got.
I know there's already talk of a Monday night greenhorn league. Looking hopefully fill out the Sunday morning collection plate league with more people. I suspect that will fill out nicely. And there's also a Monday morning league that's been
that's been starting up. Yeah. So well, here the end has gotten a little more interesting here because unintentionally. Yellow's put up a corner guard.
Yes.
Now that Red has that rocks very close to the house, they can try to play a little split or a tap. Split would be even better, but if they get a tap, they'd be happy too, I think. Especially if they can tap behind. They are going to get the split, I think. Get that second one just to roll on? No, they actually didn't. But
needed to sweep it.
It's okay because the tap was very nice and actually gets some coverage behind the guard. We can see that
look at it
when
from
I
the
throw
top.
You can see that that's actually pretty much buried. It's hard to say on the Fish Islands. I think it looks more buried than it is, but I think that's... So on the overhead that we're showing, it may look a little overburied even. I don't think it's quite sticking out the other side. I think it really is just nicely buried there.
And Ellie here looks like she's just going to put the center guard, the biting guard back.
Okay. Try to set up a steal again, thinking she can't get to that red very easily. And that looks heavy, though. They maybe weren't sure it was that heavy right off his hand because Ellie was thinking about playing the tick off the red guard, but by that point
Red has a nice end developing here. He's going to split the house in behind the other guard.
Yeah, and this is a how quickly once you get a guard in play, the ends you can develop an end real quick because that red rock behind that yellow guard is very dangerous as soon as it got there.
Calling to do the tap on this.
Yeah, and I think again he'd be happy with a split. He'd be happy with it because
that gives you the split option.
But if you tap, it's even better than the split has you sitting 3 right away, but it may set up a double on your nicely buried guard here. If you tap straight, you're gonna have 2 rocks both guarded, and sets you up very nicely for a 3 actually.
Yeah, he looks a little narrow.
This does look narrow and possibly light. No handle.
Whoops. And you're right.
Yeah, lost the handle.
Yeah. So we're calling that one a miss.
Yeah, unfortunately there. Yeah. They did. Surprised they didn't try to sweep that over. Having the corner guard wouldn't have hurt them in any way, but that doesn't matter that much. It would have been very high and out to the side. It wasn't going to be a very effective guard. So just to wrap up what you were talking about the Tuesday Night League, one thought I have had is that we've the last couple of years done the page playoff system, which I like because it does give the 1 and 2 teams a bit of an advantage.
Yeah.
There was some discussion. People really weren't. There was mixed opinion on the idea I brought up during doing like a secondary playoff for the 5th through 8th place teams, which is fine. I threw that. But one other idea would be and I don't think if we did 12 or less teams, I'd leave the playoffs. But if we get up to 13 or 14 again, perhaps doing a 6-team playoff where the worst 1 and 2 seeds get a first round bye. 3 plays 6 and 4 plays 5, and then just because if the field's that big, which is exactly what happened at Worlds. That's
you got so many more teams in it.
Lots more teams in it while still giving 1 and 2 some advantage for having a good regular season because they play 1 less game. That's actually what, and I would be. That's what they're doing at Worlds this year. They are going to a 6-team playoff because they went from 12 to 13 teams when they added a 3rd Asian qualifier. Mm-hmm. They didn't eliminate like the last European team or do a play-in game. They just added 1 more team and made it a 13-team field and said we'll do a 6-team playoff.
Yeah.
And nothing wrong with getting more teams involved as long as you give the top teams some sort of advantage, I think, if you're going to put that many teams in. And that's what we'll do. We'll see.
They're calling for the guard again here, and it's coming down a little bit light, but they're sweeping hard. They're going to get a good center line guard out of it, be a 2 or 3.
Ellie was really trying to bring it down in. I saw them call the shot.
Oh, they were actually coming down to the red?
Yeah, it didn't quite get the line or the weight. Now, where it ended up is not terrible because they could use that on their next
Plan
shot.
B.
Could get them out of trouble.
They've got the tap up.
Yeah.
So now I think Sean is definitely he's drawing in, but he'll take the split here. He called for the draw.
Yeah, he's trying to go behind the center guard now, it looks like. And if it hangs out there, if it doesn't run straighter, he can tap his red. If you're going to play a split, you'd probably plan on a second shot. Here, that could easily leave a hit and roll with a lot of junk out front, or if you split anything, you split one of the rocks is going to be open in the top of the house, and it'd leave something for Ellie to get in there.
Yeah, if he buries this, he'll be in good shape. Well, they're sweeping hard for the tap. They're sweeping for the tap. Question is whether it's going to have enough energy to put it in. I don't think so. I think
they're going to get a biter.
It's
going to be a nose and
it's going to be in. Yep,
that's
just
fine.
barely.
Yep.
That's good. Yeah.
So that leaves Mayne sitting 1-2.
The promote.
And it looks like they're talking about the promote already.
Ooh. Well, the promote I think is a safer shot. You try to draw through that board and you miss.
Neither of them are particularly safe. It's your preference. It's not easy the promote's a much more difficult shot to control where the rock ends up.
Yeah.
So you're much more likely to leave something open. It's not an easy guard to draw around because it's pretty tight to the house. And
if they don't leave, if they push it in, and it's not guarded.
It was like when Mike was here before talking about that side of the ice not curling. I said it's been curling more. It does curl less than the other side of the ice still.
Yes.
Although she's taking such an interior line that this one may actually curl more than they expect.
Now they're inside. Curling towards the wall on the
now they're inside the 4-foot line, so I think this will curl okay.
The line looks good. The question is whether this has enough. They're not sweeping, so they think it's got plenty. Here it comes.
Yeah, they're going to have to go.
They may have to go through the gap. They're going to go through.
Try the little tick.
Yeah, there we go. Oh,
sorry,
it's actually a little too heavy.
A little too heavy. Boy. If it hangs around for a second, it goes right through. Boy. Sorry for the quick cuts there, guys, for a second. I had to, if you were watching at home, but
yeah, unfortunately, that was
just
a
bit too heavy.
Straight rocks.
Yeah, which explains because it did break and then it was just Looked like it was all over the guard, but had so much weight it never got there. But
Yeah, it was
that's why
just over.
still
It was just
caught
a little bit
just
too
an
hot.
edge. He actually had to catch a little more of the red rock to hang around.
Yes, they needed to switch to the tick earlier.
Yeah, well, I don't think they realized how heavy it was because that had to be. It was less than hack, but it probably only lost like a foot because it was barely got redirected off. It probably lost a couple feet of weight, and that's all.
Yeah, it would have been
Needed a little bit more.
2/3 hack.
Yeah, I mean, if you had hit an eighth of the front rock instead of just sliver, that would have just rolled right in for second shot probably.
Now
So now we got Sean Mayne
all
just
he has to
drawing
do
for
is
3.
bite the rings for 3.
Yeah, going to the
A
outside.
little
here where they
interesting
haven't
that he
thrown yet.
decided to go way out there on that side. That nothing's been played out there, so I might have played the other side just because you
They
already
seem to
know
like it though. They look pretty confident.
But yeah, it's a well.
No, they're unless it's
It's
heavy.
fine.
No, they're on
It's
the.
fine.
They're actually on the red
They're
anyway, so
gonna
they'll
tick
be
it,
fine.
and there's 3, and there's nothing
Yeah.
they can do. Yep, that was a good shot.
All right, so it's going to be a big 3 score for Mayne, making up for that steal in the first, giving him a 2-point lead with heading into the third end. Really a well-constructed end after the first couple. About halfway through the end, it looked like there was nothing happening there. There was not much in place, and once that corner guard got up and they got around it, that
once
changed
they
the
got
end
one
entirely.
buried behind the guard.
And that's the danger when you're playing good teams. A lot of people underestimate the guards. They don't worry about them that much, and that's actually much more dangerous than a rock in the house until the very, very end of the end. That remains true until you get right to the last couple of rocks of the end. The guards are the more dangerous rocks in terms of the other team scoring than rocks that are actually in the house. That's not what happened in this case.
So Nigel looked like he was a little wide on that, but maybe a little light, so it's got plenty of time to curl.
Yeah, it's got a long way to go, but
it's got to come back a bunch. I think he may have actually put up a corner guard there.
Well, now they're going to try to bring it closer.
Yeah, they'll try to bring it in. He actually did come out a little bit wide. He knew it.
Yeah.
He immediately called it, actually.
Inner tight is pretty good
they're
here, and
just gonna
that'll
bring it
actually
in.
get right into the top 8, which is actually a nice result in the end. That works out fine. So yeah, last end they, I should say, Team Zaken and Ellie didn't underestimate a guard. It's just that they got that guard by mistake, and Mayne got behind it right away, and that was pretty much Zaken had to chase the rest of the end, and just never quite was able to regain control or limit the damage as much as they wanted to.
Oh, they had a shot there at the end. They just, they missed. Sure, too hard.
Sure. So looks like.
So is Zaken watching?
I don't know. Yeah, he might be. Might be. I don't know. He hasn't commented yet. If he is, I'm sure he'll be checking in at some point. See how his team does. This is.
Hey, so they opt to go ahead and put one in the house here. It's going to be in the back of the house by the time Sean gets done with it. Maybe out
It'll
the
hang
back.
on. It's not bad. No, it did go through though. So.
All right. So that was I think they actually.
I imagine they were looking for a corner guard, or at worst to put one in.
Yes. I think the call was for the middle of the 8 foot.
Okay, just to throw one on the side of the house.
On the tee line.
But Sean now looking for a center line guard.
Yes.
It's not so much to. So another thing a lot of teams will do is just cover that rock, but I don't think he's really happy about using that rock to steal. So he's really looking just to put a guard on the center line. If you play it a couple inches to that side of the
slightly
center,
shaded towards that one.
So maybe you cover
Make it
a corner
harder
of
to
it.
pick it out.
Well, if you cover a corner of it, if the other team hits, then they're not going to be able to hit and roll underneath. They're going to hit and roll out. So you still get to keep your center guard and not let them hit and roll off of yours to use it.
So he's got he's going to put one in. I think this is going to be.
This might just end up in again.
Yes, it's in the top 12.
Yeah, so they've got 2 in.
So, Well,
Ellie's going to go to the hit right away, which
try to hit and roll underneath.
Fine. Yeah, I don't know if hitting and rolling
Actually, if you
underneath
hit and roll way out in the wings,
they'd be happier to hit away, I think, honestly.
Yeah.
Or if you roll underneath, you're going to be about a foot under the other one.
And it's going to be too easy for the double.
I mean, it's not much of a run back at all. You'd really hit half or more on either side, you'd make it. So.
Or the run back take.
Right. But just getting one out and putting your rock in play is good.
It's got the nose, maybe slide over a tiny bit. Oh, well, there it is. There's this.
She will go underneath, which is
exactly what you called, Ed.
Yeah. So now if we look at that on the ORED, you'll see
it's lined up. Red
fine,
just
but
has to hit it, and the
it's less than a
gone.
rock's distance between
Yeah.
the two. So actually, even hitting less than half the rock will do.
So that actually was it. Even though it looks like it was made to a new player, looks like a good shot. It really wasn't.
I mean, it's not a bad place for your rock to be because it's also the worst that's going to happen is they're going to run it back and be sitting two again.
Actually, this has nothing to do with my dissertation. It's one of those annoying bureaucratic things you have to do every year to update them on your progress.
So Mike McCarthy and the hack now looking to play that run back though. Sean would probably like to hit it right on the nose and leave them stacked rather than have it roll away. But we'll see. He may actually get this thin enough.
You
that he
just
doesn't
said
get
Michael Parker was in the hack.
Mike McCarthy, I said. Yeah. Did I say Mike Parker? I meant Mike McCarthy, but
Yes. Oh,
Yeah,
maybe
so-
you did. Maybe I heard it wrong.
Mike McCarthy
Parker's sitting next to us,
hits it
but-
pretty
yeah.
thin,
Yeah.
thinner than they wanted, rolls out and actually runs his rock all the way to the edge of the 12
Yeah.
foot. And Ellie now looking maybe to go around that. And
He's going to use
set
that
up.
rock. Go hide behind it.
You don't even have to fully bury. If you just get near
Yeah.
it and behind it, it makes it a little more difficult. And they ever chip the front one, you now have to play for
Yeah.
two again. But if you're looking to score with the hammer, you really have to use whatever's in play to your advantage. So I like playing over there by this rock and not hitting it because you hit it. You're
Right.
not really making any progress
Be
towards
on the
scoring.
key line behind it.
That'd be fine. Yeah, even in the back of the house behind it, as long as you're using it and
Or we
half
just,
behind it's good, you know.
looks like he's a little toasty, though. There's no sweeping, and they've got that. Oops, we just threw it through the
They
house.
also
look.
didn't have the line, so but
Yeah.
yeah, it is also heavy and going through.
Yeah.
In fact, Sean's not going to leave it in the back of the house.
Right, he just got rid of it.
All right, well now some interesting
Now,
decisions for
center line guard.
Sean.
Yeah.
Yeah, it'd be very early in the end. You could throw to split the house without the hammer and try to force that way, but it's so early in the end that you're not really setting up a force yet.
Yeah.
If it was your last rock without hammer, you might just split.
Mhm.
Say, all right, take your one because we're not in position to steal.
You just cut down the scoring and make it hard.
as much as you
get rid of
could,
it.
yeah. Make it hit whatever you want to do. Make
Right,
a draw,
keep
make
them from
hit
getting a
stick,
blank.
Yeah.
But it's
Um,
early enough.
In this case, it's early enough, and your rock's really not doing much for you without the hammer, the one that's out barely biting the house, way out on the edge there.
Yeah.
Yeah,
All right, they
set up
got the
something that
nice
you can
center line
use later.
guard.
Yep,
And it's
nice
gonna
tight
be-
center line guard.
Yep, there we go.
War room's starting to fill up with some party goers for our
Yep. For our
Tuesday night end of the year party.
Championship night. Don't know how many Villanova fans we have in the house.
Don't know if we have any Villanova fans.
I don't
I went
know.
to high school with people.
I was a
with someone
Michigan
went to
fan
Villanova
for
who's very
purely
excited.
financial reasons.
Oh.
If Michigan had won, I would have been third in my tiny little pool at school. Would have won like, I don't know, $10 or something.
And see, and I was rooting for Villanova sentimentally. So unfortunately, I tried to play the hit on the red stone and actually kicked it into the 8-foot, making a little bit of a better rock for Sean. Definitely not a disaster.
Now, do you guard it? Do you just draw it in on the top four? But then that leaves the hit and roll off that stone
Yeah.
they just threw. So now he's talking about guarding
He's looking
it.
at guarding it, which is
Yeah. Well,
Guarding
he's going
it,
for the draw. He's going for the draw.
Oh, I think he was saying you could pick off it too if it's not a straight draw.
Hit and roll off of it. Yeah, a little tap.
So, yeah, I mean, because that rock right there in the top 8, well, I mean, it's not really a great steel rock. But
Yeah.
now a steel
Yeah.
situation is starting to present itself. You can get
And it's
behind
not
that.
worth protecting because they just draw to the button around it.
Yeah,
There's
then
plenty of
they're
room.
still playing for 2 at that point. And
Yeah.
you've just put up a corner guard that's really not doing you
This
much good.
stone is going to curl enough, but the question is whether the weight is there.
Yeah. It's a little heavy. They should play
commencing
the
its curl. There it goes.
Yeah, just didn't
Oh,
have the...
unfortunately, this may be setting up a double.
Yeah.
I guess it's not a trivial double. It's going to hit it just right to get it.
No, you're going to want to hit one just before you hit the other. You know?
Yeah.
You can
Comes
also,
right into
as
the
they said,
pocket.
as some people were amused by on TV, you could also hit it right in the crotch, as they say. And
Yes.
Get them both at once. But I think ideally you'd hit the inside one just first. And
Yep.
yeah. The other reason for doing that is if you hit the inside one first, you roll to the outside as opposed to you take the play away from the center guard.
He's a little bit wide. He's going to get the back one. He's going
Yeah.
to peel the back stone. Yeah, and they're trying to do a little directional sweeping, but it's not going to be
It's
enough.
going to be enough to remove the rock, but that's it.
Yeah,
And
it's going to be a peel.
now the issue here is that rock that's in the house for team Mayne is getting better and better.
Right. It's each
And
time it gets.
That's
that was
that's the
another
new
one.
rock that
Yes, right.
that,
He threw.
that Craig threw. But the thing is that before, it was about a foot better than the last rock.
Now
and
it's
they're
worth
really
guarding. Now it's worth guarding.
because now you're guarding the center when you guard it, so you really are climbing up the middle. They pretty much have to touch the 4 foot to beat it, so it's not trivial for them to outdraw you.
So he's
And
only
you
calling
might
for
end up
2.5
feeling
foot of curl, which is about right, I think, now.
Mhm.
He doesn't mind if it's slightly to the right of the guard. Yeah. His other guard is protecting the left third of the stone. This stone needs to protect the right 2/3 of the stone.
I think it's effectively wide open right now until they throw this guard. So we're watching. Will it get over? Oh, it's just stopped on the
Oh, they
hog
kind of
line.
gave up there.
They
Yes,
did
they
give
knew
up
it
a
wasn't
little bit
gonna
there.
make
I
it.
don't know that they would have got it over anyway, but it
Yeah.
was. That does now leave a hit.
Yep.
And if you throw it with a
she
nice
can
soft
see-
weight,
and it didn't take
is-
him long, and Walker's on his way. He looks a little narrow on his release to me. I think he's on the front guard.
Removing the guard is not the end of the world, but you don't want to
No.
nose it. You want to make sure. So they got to stay on it to make sure they hit it
Oh,
thin.
it's going to be close. Nope, he's on
No,
the
they
guard.
got the
So they got
guard
the
there.
peel, and that's okay.
Yeah. I'd love for that not to stay around, and it doesn't. It gets
Yeah,
out
because
good.
that leaves open the possibility of
The blank
blanking
still,
the end. Yeah, and we're getting down now where that starts becoming part of the thoughts.
Yeah, knowing the Zaken team, I think they're going to try to score for as long as they can. They're not a team. They tend
Yeah.
to want more rocks in play. So last week when we did the broadcast, we talked about the two games that were on the sheet were very much contrasts in styles between the two games.
Uh-huh.
And for people who are maybe not from Nutmeg who are watching, maybe people just found the stream to watch it, said, well, you can see two very different kinds of games here because the Quan Mayne game,
Which is
very few rocks in play.
takeout game.
More, well, one, not trying to play defensively more than the other sheet, which was two very, or at least one team, I'd say, Gibbons sort of more neutral in strategy and Zaken more aggressive, meant a lot more rocks in play.
Yeah.
So it was interesting to see the two games where, and you also saw the Quan game get way ahead because they were hitting so much that the game was going faster just because
much faster play.
the rocks were moving faster.
Yes.
They added up over the course of 6 ends,
Well, that's why they switched to the timing approach.
In
to
competitive
so
play,
you,
yes.
Yeah,
Because
so
not
you
to
didn't
punish
have
teams
to,
that are drawing.
So it wasn't an advantage to throw takes.
Yeah, or really the problem was the disadvantage was
clock.
if you fell behind and you had to draw, you were giving a disadvantage at the fact that
Yes.
you were losing time on your draws.
So they're trying to throw the guard here, and I think he was a little wide. So I don't think it's going to guard it. So but it actually, what's interesting about this is it does now give them a guard to hide underneath after they do a hit and roll and be counting behind the guard.
If we look
the
at
corner
that,
guard.
that's actually a pretty unfortunate rock for
Yes.
Sean there.
Yep. Sean
'Cause now
almost
that-
wanted should have decided to hog that, but
It may have been too far over to
yeah,
hog.
it's
that
a
was
few
good-
feet over, so
it's a good
may
4
not have been
feet,
possible.
yeah, 3 feet over. So the thing is that actually gives Team Zaken a realistic chance for 2 again. 'Cause
Yes,
you
yes, it
hit
does.
this or even just bump it back far enough and roll into the guard, and you're sitting 1, and it's not easy for Sean
And
to stop
actually,
if you
I
guys-
like the bump back because it leaves a jam possibility.
Oh,
If you-
sure.
yeah.
Well, that was
Although
something
if
you'd
you,
see
if
at,
you
like-
get the roll, you're likely to bump it to the left.
If you watch like the Worlds, the Olympics, you'll see that's what they'll usually play. Although in this case, this late in the end, they might just play like a soft weight hit just to make sure,
Yeah.
But earlier in ends, you'll see a lot of down weight,
So
especially when
the
you're
broom
losing
is
and they're
certainly
down 2
showing
points.
a gentle hit.
You want to keep the rocks
Yeah.
in play, but not hurting you if you can. So you put their rocks deep in the house.
Well, she's certainly light, and they're on it hard. I think they need to go really hard. This
I
might.
think this is going to be close. It's weight will be
curl.
the only issue. I think the line's
yeah,
okay.
it's going to be close. I think she may end up missing.
Oh yeah, you're right. I
Yeah.
was wrong. That is
Just
going to
looking at
just
the
clip
line.
it. Now, if it stays around, this isn't a disaster. 'Cause if they stay around for
Yeah,
second shot,
she was a little narrow and a little light.
yeah. The weight
Well,
probably would have
one
been
or the
fine.
other. She either needed to be wider or more weight.
Yeah, the combination just
Yeah.
was off a little bit. Now that's not a complete miss. It does leave
No.
them sitting second. So Sean has a decision to make. He can guard,
Yeah.
but that keeps 2 in
well,
play.
I think you just take it out.
And they are with a 2-point lead. He's going to take it out and
Yeah.
let them hit for 1.
Yep.
And in fact, they'll be hitting for 1 against 2 reds if he sticks around.
Yes.
So it'll still be a little dangerous.
If he hits the nose or left.
Yeah.
Now this shot's a little dangerous because way out here with a lefty, there is a chance of it falling off to the wall. I think way out near the wall.
So I said I haven't seen them. I haven't seen them fall so much, but they're not going to curl out there. That's for sure. Out that far, they're gonna. If you throw a hit, it's going to run pretty straight. But also now, keep in mind that is partially release dependent. So if you give it anything, so this is now moving in, and it's going to be right around the nose.
No problem. They're going to be sitting too. He's on the
right
nose.
on the nose. Yep. And now it's Ellie throwing against those two rocks.
Ellie for one.
Big shot here. Got to make it. I'm definitely make sure you hit it and stick around.
Yeah.
Absolutely can't flash. You got to make sure you make contact. And
a miss would be a bit of a disaster.
No. I would not want to fall 3 or 4 points behind a good hitting team.
Yeah. All right. Her shot's on the way. The weight looks decent.
Yeah, that's plenty of weight. It's all about whether it has a line. Because all she has to do is draw to it and bump it up.
Right. It needs to curl a bit.
That's hanging out, though. We're going to go to the other view soon.
Oh, my.
Oh, no. This is really hanging. She's got to make contact at least. No, goes right by. And that's, yeah, unfortunate miss. That's a steal of 2 for Team Mayne. And it's going to make the score 5-1 in favor of Team Mayne.
Ellie's coming back down the sheet looking like she knows she missed the big one there.
Yeah, that's unfortunate.
Yeah, that just didn't curl much.
No, she maybe threw a little more than she wanted, or it was a little wide. I don't know.
It's a little bit wide and a little bit heavy, and so let's see if Sean goes completely defensive and puts one on the top of the 4-foot.
So I'm going to take a quick break. I'm going to leave it on the view so people can see. I'll be back before the end, though, I think. So enjoy these stylings of Craig Steffen for a few minutes, and we'll be right back.
Well, we've got an early big lead for Sean, 5-1 after 3. So he is going on a defensive and is putting one on the top 4-foot. What did we got for spectators?
You want to see how many people we got?
Oh, no. Oh, yeah. Check it out real quick. And we just lost one.
7 people.
Somebody decided to. Hey, you never know. I know Ellie is a serious competitor, and she will stay in the game as long as she can. You never know. Tough to come back against Sean, but it should be tough to come back at this level.
Far from over, though, even at any level with 4 or 5 innings left.
Yeah, right. She's got time to crawl back into it. Get one big in.
I love the shirts. That's our shirt for the fun squid. Ruffle swines. Oh boy, I gotta see this.
So Ellie is foregoing the protected guard and going immediately for a top of the house shot, and I believe she wants it in the 12-foot from what I saw. But actually, it looks like they may end up getting the corner guard because they're sweeping really hard.
It's another one of those. It's like, curling's a
Okay, so she gets a high corner guard. Still moving though. Still moving. They're bringing it. Actually, more than I thought. So they get a tight corner guard. I take it back, and maybe even a nibbler. Can't tell if it's a nibble or not. Let's go over here and take a look. Looking down. Okay, looking straight down on it. It is not in, so it is still a free guard.
Tuesday night, I think we were there.
Sean calls for the top 4. Nice draw coming in.
Oh no, I'm gonna sit.
Looking decent. Certainly in the house, maybe even just past the tee line. It's going to be on the button. Not centered on the button, but pretty close. And Ellie immediately calls for the takeout. Looking to take the stone out and roll underneath her nice tight guard.
Kelly plays with me a lot. This league on Friday night.
And Sean's like, what the hell are you doing here? You told us you could curl tonight.
Carl's shot is on the way. Looks a little bit narrow. They're sweeping it. They're going to get the hit. The question is what kind of roll they're going to get. Looks like a nose shot. It's just going to hit and take it out. Sean immediately calls for the takeout. No big surprise there. Sean is with a nice 5-1 lead. Is just going to get rid of rocks.
Hey, good.
Hello.
How are you?
Good.
Here's what happens when we don't say it's not good to you. Well, you know what? But here's the thing. I put on the experience.
5-second rule. Yeah, yeah.
Oh, Joe, right?
Just got attacked by an asparagus.
I lost the call. I think I told you that.
No.
That's a big squeal. Big spit.
So Sean's call takeout is on the way. Certainly got the take, and is likely to get the peel. It's going to go out on to the right. Oh, actually, it's going to bury underneath the guard and be counting. So, although it actually could end up being useful for Ellie. Ellie can come and sit on that stone. Yep, and that is the call. Come down and try to sit on that counting red stone. He does a nice freeze on it. A corner freeze would be hard to get rid of. A little early to call the beginning of a comeback, but at least the possibility is there to get a good stone in play, counting and bury. Pirelli's stone is on the way. The sweepers seem to think it's a little bit toasty. They're not touching it. I would concur that this one might have a bit too much and it's going to slide out the back. Team Zaken having a little bit of trouble figuring out the speed tonight. Sean sweeps it out the back.
What the heck? Maybe I need to go and reconsider my schedule.
Sean calling for the the center line guard in the 8-footer, biting the 4-foot. The warm room is filling up nicely and dinner's being served.
Right, it would be like,
So called for the top 4, and it's going to end up being just past the tee line. Ellie's going to sweep it into the 8-foot. Again, another stone that could be useful for a Zaken team with Ellie at the skip.
Yeah.
So she does go ahead and call for the takeout on this stone. She could sit on this stone, but then Mayne would just follow with a sit on top of her because it's back far enough. So going to go ahead and go for the takeout. It's going to definitely get the take, but it looks like they're going to get the nose hit. And there we go. Going to challenge Mayne to take her stone out. So Sean accepts the challenge, immediately calls for the takeout. At this point, he's perfectly happy to trade stones, given that he's already got one in the 12-foot half buried.
You guys were all in one.
That's going to kind of suck.
No, we didn't. That will start.
Running in the morning.
This takeout looks quite fine. It's going to hit right on the nose. And it's Ellie's turn. Now, so we're kind of marching back from the back of the house towards the button with the takeouts. Now, I'm sure that she would like to hit this one. She's actually calling pretty tight with the broom there. So she may be looking to spit one out onto the other side to her left. He's a little bit wide, and this might flash. Yeah, Walker comes out a little bit wide and doesn't come back enough, and it's a flash. So now Sean will protect his 4-foot stone, put one in the 8-foot on the center line. Actually, he's calling just to go ahead and put it on the front of the button. Just fine. He just wants to make it so that the best Ellie can do is get one. Craig Doucette Stone is on the way. Again, he's just drawing to the top four, or the top of the button, actually, is what the call was. They are sweeping very hard. They think it's a little bit light. They are dragging it. They're well over the hog. They're going to come in. Actually, this is looking nice. 12 foot, 8 foot, 8 to 4. Now that's exactly what Sean called for. Okay, maybe it's a couple inches to the right. So Ellie immediately calls for the double. Going to try to hit that front stone just slightly off the nose. He can get rid of both those stones. Ryan Walker's stone is on its way. He's slightly wide, but he is going to get the front one for sure. I think he's got the double. The question is whether he'll stay around. He's going to, okay, that's a nice shot. And go, Ellie, go. Okay, unfortunately just got rid of one of them. Left two counters in the 12 foot, kind of partially buried for both of them. Did leave her stone is the counter right now, but it's wide open. So it won't take Sean long. He's already walking down the sheet, looking for the simple takeout. He just wants to hit this on the nose and leave his sitting right there in the 8 foot counting. If he spilled over to the right and hit it amongst that mess, that would be fine. I don't know what they're actually trying for. They just mainly want to get rid of the Yellowstone. Okay, line looks good. Weight looks good. Actually, it needs to curl a bit. Actually, it's a little bit wide. He's going to get the peel. The Yellowstone should be gone. And the red stone is going to be swept out also. So he got a peel, which is fine. So Ellie has 2 shots left here. She actually has a little pocket to hide in. So if she can bury one underneath and get it where it's either sitting on the angle froze on the front red one would be perfect. Sitting on the back red one would be okay. She's got to get this stone to be counting so she has a chance at scoring 2. She gets 2 here. She has setting up a possibility of crawling back into this.
We don't plan this. Did you go with I've never been.
I count 17 people in the warm room. All right, so Brian Walker in the house, got his broom down, calling for the takeout. I'm sorry, not the takeout, the draw in underneath the yellow guard. That unfortunately, this looks like it's going to curl too much. It's going to chip the front guard. So they may want to come up and just drive that guy back. Switch to plan B here. They need to come up a little bit. Okay, and here's the bump and the run back. Okay, oh! Let's see here. Let's go to the overhead camera and take a look at this. And it looks like they got just enough of a bump, so that actually turned out to be okay, but it's not counting. The one in the back 12, the 12 foot in the back is counting, but that one in the back could be chipped out. So Mayne immediately calling to make that a hard shot and put one on the biting the 8 foot and guarding his back red. So pretty big shot here for chance of Zaken's team to get back into it. If they put this guard up nicely, it's going to make it hard. This could be the biggest make shot for Sean right here. If he makes this shot, it'll really slam the door on Ellie. Stone's on its way. Sweepers think the weight is good. Line looks decent. It looks maybe a little bit hot. The sweepers are not on it at all. I think it's going to come all the way down to the back red one. It's just going to replace the back red one, I think. So this actually could work out in Ellie's favor. Yes, it will. So Ellie has a simple take for 2 here. A little bit too much on that one. So Ellie immediately skates down the ice. She knows exactly what she has to do. She needs to hit this red stone on the nose, and she gets 2. Talking Brian out of a little bit less broom. So throwing the heavy draw down to this. Although probably needs to throw hack weight with that broom because this will curl towards the wall. Going down the center line and out gives sweepers lots of work to do. Puts them in play. This is really all about the call here. Walker's got to get the call right on the line. They need to come off. They need to come off. Here it comes. Here it comes. Here. Oh, is it going to curl enough or is it going to spill out? Oh, I think it's going to spill out and Doucette's haunted hard and it's going to be only 1. Yep, needed to let it curl a little bit more. All right. Let's see what you can see. Oh, they're pushing it, so they think they've decided. Yeah. Good defensive sweep by Craig Doucette there to make sure that second yellow stone didn't count, or the thrown stone. Okay, let's see if I can figure out how to. Oh, there comes. Oops, that's not what I want. Here comes Ed. He'll update the score because he knows how to do it. 1 for Ellie. Yeah, unfortunately, he had an open shot there, and it just they need to let it curl more. I think Sean is winning the figuring out the ice competition fairly well so far. Oh, what did you?
Just title editor. I had it.
Title editor. Okay. There it is. Okay. Zelly put her first stone in. She wanted the guard, but ended up with a top 12 shot, and Sean's going to immediately answer and remove it. Again, now with a 3-point lead, but he still can just go with the clean out the rocks approach.
Yeah, 3-point lead in the hammer
turn
now.
To eat dinner.
Okay, go for it, Craig. If anyone wants to.
Anybody else want to jump in?
Yeah. We could just do this, Craig. Yeah, just click. Just click. No, don't turn. Never change the volume. Just hit this. Just go click and it mutes. Oh, wrong one. That's the.
Okay.
So if you want to click, you can just click the volume and it'll mute. You'll get the red light. Yeah.
I didn't know that. New trick.
All right, so a hit and roll out there for Team Mayne with a 3-point lead, 4 runs to play, and the hammer. Expect to see them play very defensively and just remove rocks whenever possible.
I told one of the things that was me and all the guys, and I was like, I need to be here. Not dressing
Which is a reasonable thing to do. I think Craig is.
Sorry about that. Okay. Center line guard for Team Zaken, which is exactly what they're looking for at this point. I'm going to need to get some guards in play. Try to set up some steals to get back into this thing in the second half.
Oh yeah, he would do that. Yeah, right.
Sean looking to put something in the corner, but that's going to sail just through. Leaving the only rock in play as the center guard there for Team Zaken. So if Team... It's mine. It's mine, Heidi. They're looking at a shirt we have for Ponsfield coming up. All right. Draw got me in here. This looks like it might be light. If it is, another center guard, certainly not a bad result for Team Zaken. But, sorry, the sweepers are off and it's actually sailing just fine. Might just sneak by there and settle in back 4, back 8. Yeah. Okay, at least partially buried and behind the guard. Deeper than they wanted it, but something that Team Mayne will have to deal with at some point. Sean immediately calling to get rid of the center guard now that the free guard zone period is over. As that's the danger rock. If the only rock in play is the one in the back of the house, Sean can draw in front of it for his point. This guard could set up a much bigger end, or a much more likely steal anyway for Team Zaken later, so it's got to go. Mike McCarthy coming in here with the peel weight. And that's going to be a nice clean peel. Both rocks removed, exactly what they're looking for. If Team Mayne can make their peels, the best thing that Zaken can do, or in this case Ellie, is to continue to guard their rock or put something in the very top of the house, either way. And Sean can continue to peel it. And on his last rock, he should have a very makeable shot for 1. But there's a long way and a lot of made shots before we get to that point, so that's just the game plan being used right now. We'll see how it actually plays out. Jonathan Corelli throwing his second rock here, looking to put back that center guard.
Hey, Ed, can we open your shirt?
This one sails just a bit deeper than Team Zaken probably wanted, but it's effective in the sense that it's another one on the center line. It does make Team Mayne make a shot here. Biggest problem is now Team Mayne has no fear of playing the nose because they're not worried about leaving a guard. A nose will just leave a double and leave them sitting 1 in the top 4, which will suck a lot of the potential out of the end. And sweepers on and off. This could be close. Sorry, I had you on the wrong view there. We'll watch that come in and go back now. And just misses the double, but does leave them sitting 1 right in the top 4. Certainly not a terrible result, not a great result either. Ellie could consider just coming down and trying to set up a bigger end as time goes on. Instead, I think she's playing the hit right away. Going to try to sit 2. Sitting 2 here, not bad. It's leaves the steal in play and certainly
Where's the other stone?
under Ellie. So.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, Craig was asking where the other stone was, and that's just enough to avoid the jam. And does leave them sitting 2. The only problem with that shot is that the steal potential is very low in this end right now. There's really nothing hidden. No guards up. On the other hand, there is definitely a potential for a force here, which is not terrible for Team Zaken. I imagine they'd rather steal given that there's only 4 ends left, but if they hold them to 1 and they're down 4 with 3 to play, that's certainly not over yet. They'll have a chance to put something together in 6 to get right back in things. So really imperative that Team Zaken doesn't allow a blank and doesn't give up more than 1. They'd love a steal, a force, not bad here at all. Craig Doucette in the hack now, looking to hit that outside yellow, roll it back towards the middle, bring the play together. Sean's going to want to bring... Yeah, it does look like he's a bit wide. May chip it out. Could even make a dirty double here if he hits it thin enough. But no, that's just going to go under. I don't think you could actually make that double on the outside. It would have been would have needed a ton of weight at the angle you had to hit it at. But gets rid of the rock on the outside. Doesn't stick around, so really only a half make. But one of the luxuries of having that 3-point lead, and as we're getting towards the late game, is those half makes aren't too bad for them right now. Brian Walker throwing his first rock here for Team Zaken, the Vice. It is light, but if they can get it over as a guard, they'll be happy to take it. This looks pretty good. They may want to get off for a line now, and they are. Want to leave this right on the center line, and that's where it's going to stop. Maybe over curling a couple inches, but not bad. And honestly, the guard, having the guard there is more important than whether it guards your back rock or not, because that back rock is, you're not likely to steal with that rock in the back 8. You're more likely to steal by getting a guard up and getting around it. So Sean here playing to hit the back rock and stick around.
Well, I think I deserve it.
But I'm not sure that's really the danger rock, the one in the back there. Craig Doucette, the Vice for Team Mayne, is away with his rock. Throwing a controlled weight. Hanging out a bit, but should be enough to remove the yellow rock and roll away. And so it does, but that does leave, as we said, that does leave Team Zaken with a center guard they can use now. And with Ellie ready to throw her first skip rock here, she's just going to come right around that yellow rock, and if she buries one, they will definitely have a steal in play, especially if she can get it down to the 4-foot. So that was the only thing, that last shot when Mayne decided to hit the rock in play, they left the potential for a steal open by leaving that guard up there. Now what they did do is limit the potential for a bigger steal. They got rid of a rock that was in the house, so that rock can no longer count, obviously. It's not there. With a 3-point lead, that's fine. But it did put a little danger in here that Ellie could curl around and make life a little tougher on them. So Ellie here in the hack, getting ready to throw. You can see the warm room filling up a little bit in the background in your picture as we have a little bit of a party going on. What was that?
I counted 17 of us.
17 people in attendance watching the game.
Definitely light.
Yeah.
They're not going to make it.
They are sweeping hard on Ellie's rock. They're really going hard. I think this has a chance. I think the line may be an issue too. No, I think she's by. But it is just going to, it's in the guard. You're right. It was light enough that it did crash on the guard. And left 2 center guards. That's not actually a terrible miss. I mean, the only reason it's not a bad miss is the fact that you have to understand it's very unlikely to ever steal 2. If she did get around, Sean's going to peel the guard, and they're not going to steal more than one anyway. So having a second guard and having something to draw around on your last rock's not too bad. Sean is deciding to play this a tad more aggressively and taking the more aggressive option of the 2 and drawing around. He could just peel and play for the blank. So just click the volume. Click it.
Push it.
Yep, click it. There you go, and you're good. So Sean looking to draw around and trying to set up a deuce. Dinner. Yeah, he's trying to set up a deuce that'll really put the game almost out of reach.
Nice lasagna.
Was that the pizzagna? The pizza lasagna?
I think so.
Yeah.
Yes.
Very good.
All right. Sorry about that. Sean's shot is on the way. Line looks good. A little bit light.
I think it's pretty close. The sweepers have been on-off. Now it's curling a lot, and it looks like it might be headed right into those guards. And you're probably right that they needed to go earlier because they had enough to get there, but they had to probably go all the way to get it around the guard and into the house. Well, now again, it sets up an opportunity for Ellie and Team Zaken here. Ellie Bockley going to be throwing the last rock.
Oh, can they?
She has some options. There are taps.
Tap the right one in.
Great.
There's enough
So let's go back
around the other side. The shot that Ellie just or that.
Yeah, if you look at the angles here, you can almost get to nose on the outside yellow, the one that's on the top of your screen if you're watching at home now. And that would probably hit it at an angle where it would stay behind those center guards, but it has to be very precise.
Yeah.
Easier, I think, to draw around here.
Yep.
Yeah, what you'd like is that if you miss, you want to be narrow so that you at least push something in the house and hopefully can force.
Yes. Right.
You don't want to be wide and wide open.
Yeah.
And you also don't want to leave the
Got to
house.
be counting after this shot.
Yeah, you don't want to leave the house empty either and let Sean blank.
All right. So with that broom, I think they may be going for the tap.
Yeah, I think they were looking at maybe playing either the tap or the draw come around. This is going to be the line's not
The
bad.
line's good.
It
The
may be
line is
heavy.
good.
The sweepers are off it all the way.
No sweeping at all.
They may need a tick here just to keep it around.
Oh, they got the tick.
Barely, just scraped it. It might keep it around the
it's
back.
going out.
Yep, it's going through. And that's going to set up an easy blank for Team Mayne. They'll throw this one away most likely and retain the hammer. Up three with 3 ends to play with the hammer is a big advantage. So that's Sean will be happy with how this end played out. And based on the broom there, I am very confident he's throwing it away. And the fact that the sweepers haven't come down.
There is that. There is the fact that there's no
He actually
sweepers.
threw at the. Sorry, I didn't have that view. He actually threw at one of his sweepers standing on sheet B.
Yes, and he threw it to sheet B. He might have put it on the button on sheet B, but they went ahead and collected it.
Yeah, that's a very safe throwaway.
Yeah.
We were talking about last week. Sometimes you'll see a skip throw a line they haven't thrown yet, just to take a look at a line. But there might have been nothing he particularly was like, I got to see this, or he was happy just to throw the rock away and move on.
Yep.
Now we're in the 6th end of 8, and Team Mayne in a pretty commanding position, up 3 with only 3 ends to play, and having the hammer.
Yeah.
If you could somehow just automatically flip the hammer to Buckley, to Zaken, I should say.
Well,
but
I think
Ellie
it's fair to
Buckley
say
plays
that Team Zaken needs to get 2 here, absolutely, just to have a chance.
Well, they don't have the hammer. They need to steal. They need to steal 1. They need to steal every. I mean, if you steal every end, then they win the game, and that's really
Steal.
That's really the game plan now. It's the easiest way back in. Stealing 1's not hard. Stealing 2 is very difficult. Stealing 1 is not easy, but it's certainly something
So
that
they're
happens.
setting up the high guard.
Yeah, guard's going to be fine here.
Yep, they need
So
a high
over the hard
guard
line.
and a tight,
It'll be like a
tight
2.
guard, and that's a good one. That's going to be a 2.
2-3. Really gliding pretty well out there.
Yeah.
Tickling
Actually
the
came a
center line.
little farther than I
That's
thought it
fine.
would. So.
Yeah, over curled maybe at 6 inches, but that's about it.
Yeah, right. Well, there's no distractions out there tonight.
Whoops, now that's in the house.
How's my shirt? What was the nothing on that? That's okay. No numbers.
Actually, it's a little bit toasty, and Ellie may be able to get rid of it.
I think it's okay.
Yeah, it's going to slide just out the back, which is not a terrible result.
Mr. Cohen, how are you? Good. Still looking for a 4th. Oh, Danielle's gonna put Dave's right. Danielle's gonna play with us. Yeah. He's got to track down a definite, 4th.
You can do whatever you want.
For the crooked billet in Bucks County. In May, not until May. That's it.
So Ellie calls for the draw underneath her guard. Line's good. Sweepers are on it hard now. It's actually starting to curl quite a bit, but this is looking promising.
Second guard's not bad. If it ticks it, they should just leave it as a guard. Yeah, leave it now. Now they should leave it. Yeah, very good.
Got away from them.
So take a quick look at the overhead. That's not a bad setup though for Team Zaken. Ellie looks slightly frustrated. Like she really wanted to get around, but the end result is okay.
Yeah. Now, why doesn't Sean just take these stones out?
Well, he's not allowed to under the rules of curling. His
I'm
only
sorry.
his second lead stone.
That would be why. I thought it was the
Well, I
The
thought
third
maybe it was
stone.
a question for the audience.
No, I don't know. I thought it was the third stone.
Yeah, no.
Yes.
This is his lead second stone, so he's not allowed to take out that rock.
Okay, I should have said, yeah, that was a learning up.
Right, absolutely.
No, I just couldn't count.
Yeah.
What's the case? Like,
This looks like
Sean
it'll
decides
stick
to
around in the
put
corner.
one in the 12-foot.
$2
Yeah, the
Yeah.
interesting thing
It's
about
actually
that
gonna be
is
a very
Ellie
nice
can
rock.
hit, roll, and hide now.
Yeah, if you had to throw,
But I would just draw in behind the guards.
And yeah, you could have done that for Sean too. I think he just was playing it very conservative, staying out of the middle entirely.
Play the bump.
Yeah, it might be easier to bump here than
Yeah.
draw around. On our ice, it's a little tight and not a ton of curl.
Let's give it 2.5 feet of curl.
And we're lining up the bottles. And somehow there were
John Corelli's shot for the promote is on the way. Looks like he's a little bit hot, though. He's got a curl. Could end up getting the split.
I think the weight's like back
Which
house
not
weight.
be
It's not
terrible
crazy
if he can
heavy,
get
but
them
it's
both
back
in.
house. No, they should probably have stayed off of that and just let it.
Yeah, let it die.
That's okay though.
Mm-hmm.
Keep it there and keep it partially behind the guard. That's good. Even if it's just edge to edge, it's going to be.
Now we can hit him.
Now he's allowed to hit the rocks, and I'm going to make a bold prediction and say that Team Mayne is going to hit something here. And hey, look what you know, they are. He'd love to get both of the ones in the center. He's not as worried about that yellow one off to the side of the ice, but
Yeah. I mean, why would you do anything but hit him now?
you wouldn't. Not with
Yeah.
the lead in this slate. Yeah. I mean, obviously,
I mean, there's
If
a
you
jam,
weren't-
but who cares?
right. You're not even that. You're actually better off if you jam than if the way it is now.
Yeah.
You don't, he's a little. I think he is a little concerned about the jam. No, he's decided he is going that way.
Says, who cares?
Yeah, it's he's still considering which way to go after these. Yeah,
thinking too
he
much.
probably shouldn't worry too much about the jam.
Yeah.
It's you'll be leaving a yellow rock way out on the outside of the ice. You have the hammer, so it's not too bad. No, the only other shot other than hitting something would be to draw around the middle if you wanted to play very aggressively, and the score doesn't dictate that now. Some teams that might have someone who they really don't think can throw the hit weight, that would be your option. You draw
Right.
around to.
All right, he's going to get the peel. Oops,
No, he
might
may
have
just be
flashed it.
going wide and
Yeah.
flashing everything.
Yeah,
which
he
is
just threw it too hard.
unfortunate.
Yeah, threw the upweight take, and it just never moved.
Yeah, Sean
Whoops.
sort of motioned that he was a little he tossed it out a bit on his release. The way Sean was. Yeah, he popped it out.
Independent confirmation that there was a little push.
So,
Grade them, he missed almost everything out when he threw this.
Yeah.
yes, absolutely. He and he's had a few of those that were not that was the first one that was real wide, but he's been a little wide on a few that have just like been hitting sticks that have been hitting rollouts.
So Ellie's got 2 guards, one guard, and one top of the house to hide behind.
Which I think by the end is really effectively a guard because you're not trying to steal with the one in the top 12.
Yeah.
So that's effectively a guard for something you can get in around it. It's one of the things when you score games. Guard is a type of shot that doesn't actually have to be in front of the house.
Right, it can be in the
if
house
goal
to be
is
still be
in
a
front
guard.
of something else.
Yeah.
Then it's a guard. Yes, there I am.
Although this shot is definitely wide, they're going to have to go for the promote, which could still leave them counting 2.
Yeah, she was looking to play the
Just
tap. It was
slightly wide and a little hot.
or didn't get the line.
Sean's
one or the other.
pounding it out the back of the
Yeah,
house.
so that's just going to go straight out the back. So Sean again going to look
Yeah.
to make some kind of peel here, I think.
Team Zaken with Ellie skipping has
You're
just been
very
a little
close.
bit hot most
I
of
am
the
going
night.
to predict this does not happen. You're very close to being able to get all 3 here. To hit it just
Yes,
right.
yeah.
And just remove all the yellow rocks. I don't think he wants him to try to throw that kind of weight. You'd probably you'd probably come a little bit over the top of the outside
Right.
yellow, but you probably just
You
take
do
it
the in-off double on the top 2, and you get that first one to take
but
out
you
the
actually,
one on the
you
8
don't.
foot.
It's not quite actually true. You might just graze the top of the yellow, and that doesn't help
Yeah.
you. So you're really looking to make the double.
Oh, they're
on the
trying
2.
it.
No, he's trying to make it 2.
No,
You
he's
get
just
double
trying to
on
hit the
2
front one and
yellows,
get the 2.
Now if this
And he's going to
over
get
curls
the
and
peel.
stays, all right, roll it out. Yep, that's good. So that's fine. A peel and leaving only a corner guard opens up the middle significantly. That's a good result.
Now, Ellie's talking guard here, but would it be a bad idea? Well, no, they have the hammer. So, yep, she's going to try to, or they don't have the hammer, I'm sorry.
Yeah, no, she's still playing
she's
the
trying
steal.
to-
All
she's
out for a
playing the
steal
steal.
here, really.
Yeah, she's playing the steal. She's trying to protect the.
Now, if she gave up one, I imagine they'd play on. It would be a tough spot. I think 2 or more might be the end of the game if they were to give up 2 or more here.
It's not going to curl enough to really protect it.
It's okay. I don't
But it
think
is a decent
protecting that is
center line guard.
actually the important thing. I don't think, because that rock again is not going to be what steals.
Mm-hmm.
And if I were Sean, I'd consider going after the center guard. He's going to hit the one in the house, saying it's okay if you get the center one.
Right.
He's okay.
He's going to go for the counter and take the peel if he gets it.
Sure. Thank you to all 12 of our viewers now, as our audience continues to increase
We got
throughout the night.
double-digit crowd tonight.
Oh, yeah. Well, it is a championship night, Craig,
Yeah.
so we've got some very interested...
This is a nice-looking shot. It's
This
definitely going
might
to get. Got to get
just,
the peel. No
does
problem.
just get by their red, which was the important thing. Had to get by the guard. Hit and roll out is perfectly fine. Because really, the important thing was getting rid of the rock, and I assume that Ellie is going to draw right around that center guard now and try to steal. Yeah, and that's
Put
what
it
she's
on the-
pointing for.
in the
She
8
wants
foot.
Brian to put it right.
Under the guard.
Yeah, top 8, top 4.
Yeah.
Guard's high enough that top 8's probably just as good because it's harder to get at. If you
Right.
The deeper you go, the easier it is to throw something down waiting around.
You want to make sure it's hard to double it out, but
obviously
as
they
deep as you can
like
get
to be
it.
in the front of the tee line.
They look a little toasty again.
Yeah.
They may have to go for the hit and roll.
Say
Yeah,
both
they need
sides-
the hit and roll to keep this from going through.
Unusually, both sides of the ice are running fairly straight. I mean, there you go. They should stay with this because you really want to bury it. Oh, it's going to bury just about on its own perfectly. That's a nice rock.
Yep, nice stone. They got to come down. They can follow
Enough that
down.
Sean, I imagine, will just peel the center guard to avoid more trouble.
Yeah.
You could go after that, but if you ever miss everything, now they
Right.
draw another one top 4, and you actually are risking giving up a big steal. So I think he's going to go after it.
Yeah.
Okay. Good shot if you make
Now
it.
there, he's
he's
talking
considering.
about the guard. Yep. I think get rid of the guard. It's the shot here.
I think that's what.
And well, what they're calling this, they're calling to come down to it, but they're calling the Weagle or the little chip is Plan B. Given how much ice he's got.
Yeah, I mean, you don't actually have to remove the yellow guard. If you're throwing down weight, if you move it a foot, it's no longer a problem for you, really. So
that's Plan B. He's calling to come
he's
down.
calling to come down to a big shot here.
Yeah.
Could,
line is a little bit wide and it's a little bit fast, so
Might
this
be
could
off
get
that.
interesting.
He's going to actually play
Oh,
off
they're
that
playing
yellow.
the tick. They're playing the tick.
But
yeah, they
might
switched
keep
to
it
Plan
in
B.
for third shot if that'll hang around, which it matters. It does matter if it hangs on.
It's a biter.
I think that's
Probably
a
won't
biter.
matter.
I'll take down the scoreboard. You can see that does look like it's a biter.
Yeah, from here it looks
you
like
can
a biter.
say it's a biter. Yeah, definitely looking from inside the warm room, it's a biter.
Well, so things are
Now
getting
that
a
actually
little
does
interesting
matter
here.
in the sense that if Team Zaken doesn't set up the end well and Mayne gets out of trouble here, they could end up scoring a bunch, which would end the game effectively. So that's just another point that could count at the end.
But right now, if he puts one on the top 8 underneath that guard,
Yeah, I'd
puts
be
some
more
pretty good
tempted to
pressure.
go around the guard again rather than throw one that
no,
gives
they're
Sean
calling for the
some-
guard. And it's just biting the
They want a
12-foot.
guard. Yeah. Now, what you could do, and that might be a little tighter than you should be, but if you throw like another guard and they have to peel because it's just you leave no way to get to that rock, then the second time you can come around that center guard and sit too and put a lot of pressure on Sean.
Yeah.
If
I
you do it
guess
right
if
away,
you come
you don't-
underneath the guard now, you still leave the drawdown to it. So they're blocking
and
that
you,
shot.
not only that, but you also, if you don't make it perfectly, you can leave doubles. So now you're in a ton of trouble. Or So this
looking
shot's
for
a
the biting the
little.
12-foot just to the left of the center line. Stone's on its way. The sweepers are off of it. It looks a little fast. It's probably now they got to think about playing the freeze.
Ooh, yeah.
Yeah.
They're just going to watch it. I mean, if it gets underneath, it doesn't have to be a freeze. If it has the line, I think, to get under the guard a little bit, that would be pretty good.
I think it's going to come all the way down to it.
It might be just a freeze. Actually, this is going to be real nice.
It's actually not a bad shot at all.
That's a beautiful shot.
Yes, and it
Now,
came over enough. It's actually hard to get to, so that's nice.
The
things
only
that
thing
get
they would like to be
interesting.
like 8 inches higher in the house, because if Sean
Now-
can get down to it, then he can
I mean,
freeze something there.
how about just driving the guard back and opening it up?
You could try that. The only
I mean, it's
danger.
a long ways if you miss it.
It's a long way. There's 2 ways it can go wrong because it's a long way.
Mhm.
One, you can nose it into that and leave 2 behind
2.
your guard.
Yep.
2, you can barely just off nose it, miss everything, and leave your guard and let them
Yeah,
down it,
yes.
which happens
Which
a lot
would
more than
be
people
a-
expect.
A
If
real
you hit
disaster.
If you with that
Yeah.
distance, if you hit it maybe an inch off nose,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
you're not going to roll very much.
12 feet or so. And so he's going for the simple draw, which gives him 2 shots at the draw. So,
yes, it will help
yeah.
him dial in the draw weight here.
That's
so.
right.
But things definitely getting interested here in the 6th
Yeah.
end, because if Sean does not make a nice shot here, then
Definitely the biggest shot of the game for Sean here.
so it's going to come down to the
looks
weight here.
a little heavy to me, but I'm in the warm room sitting. So, but
Looked
I
like
think
Craig
I
was
might
a
be
little
right.
more concerned about line. This is going to be close.
Yeah. Yep, there it comes. Okay,
Line's
see, I
coming
was
back
wrong.
nicely.
Here it comes nicely.
Come
What
in
do I
here.
know?
Has to get at least a 4. I think he's all there. I think this is going to be
beautiful.
great. I think
it's
he's
going to be frozen.
right
It's going to be
on
angle froze
top of
right
it.
on it. Nice shot.
Angle frozen
Yeah.
to sit shot.
Yeah.
Very nice shot there from
That was a
Sean
beautiful
Mayne.
shot.
And Craig
Craig
Doucette
Doucette is happy.
comes up to us in the,
Yes.
along the
Wipes the
windows
sweat
here.
off his brow. Sean,
Gives us a sigh of relief there.
yes.
So.
Well, I said it was a big shot, and he made it, and he's in a really good position right now.
So this is not an easy.
So I don't know. Are they actually going to try to get rid of it? I mean, they're just going to get rid of the 2 yellows.
I mean, she may just be at this point sort of almost like draw down to it and force.
Yeah, I
and
mean that
at
seems
least
actually to be the most
yeah,
makeable
if you're
shot.
down
that
4
could-
with 2 ends to play, it's
Yeah.
a long way back, but you don't have to give up. You're definitely still in the game, and that might be it. The feeling
I
is
don't
not
think
a-
they can hit enough of this to do anything to get rid of it.
The only way to do it would be to run your yellow. You'd have
Yes,
to run your
right.
yellow, and
That's true.
hit
And
it
then
off
you could
nose.
get on the right side of it.
Yeah, and then you could chip it out, leave your 2.
Yeah.
Very hard shot, though.
Yes. Olympic level shot.
Yeah, and even then, that would be. I mean, I don't.
So
they're
they're
going to try
going to
it.
play the freeze and cut them down to 1 here if they do this freeze right. Tough shot. Got to be really accurate.
Yeah. Yeah, the only thing
Sleeper
she has
throw
to do
on
is
it.
that she can be if all they're playing is the freeze, she can be a little light. She just has
Yeah.
to make sure she's guarding the draw in for 2. It's
Okay.
not so much about removing
They're
the rock.
sweeping hard. It looks like it's got plenty of weight to me.
I think it's there. I think they want to get off it. Whoa. Because you're not going to chip it out.
Yeah.
That's
You
okay.
don't want to leave any. Oh.
But there might be a shot for 2.
Yeah, it's
You might
tight.
be able to hammer that yellow on the nose and get 2. Like all the or more. I mean,
Right.
if you threw peel and hit that yellow on the nose, you
You
might
could get rid of all 3
4.
yellow stones and be counting 4.
It's close. This is the last rock at
It
the end.
actually is possible.
I don't. It might be enough under the guard. I don't
Yeah.
know. Is any piece of it under
it's
the guard?
it's half visible. They can get to it. They got to throw up weight. And what's the harm? What's the harm? You
Well, the
miss.
harm is you hit it too thin and you somehow leave the yellow, but
Yeah, I mean the
spin
worse
your
you
red
give up
out the
one.
side and give up 1 or 2.
Yeah, so-
I mean,
I don't think there's any harm in just going.
I think it's very hard to do that. I don't think you
Yes.
ever give up 1
Yeah.
and 1, and you win the game if you make the shot.
Yeah.
There's definitely, and we've had Mike Oatenor, there's definitely,
a triple here.
I was gonna say, there's definitely an argument made for just throw this rock away. You're up
Yeah.
4 with 2 ends left, and you have a good hitting team, a team that hasn't been able to score much against you so far.
Yeah.
You're taking a lot of risk by playing this.
But there's no way.
Now, the other argument is that it would be really fun to throw this shit.
Yeah.
But the thing you could, if you're narrow, as long as you don't nose the yellow ones, the guard straight back,
Yeah, you're not gonna hurt
it's the
anything.
same as
Yeah.
Yeah, the only way you could really screw up is to be way wide and with a lot of weight and
Yeah.
somehow make the red go without losing
I
all
don't
the
think it's
yellows. But
possible.
I don't think that red's going anywhere.
Yeah. I suppose if you were way narrow, you could actually chip the red out. If you came across the nose.
Oh, that would be almost. I mean, I think that
Yeah,
might
it is-
literally be impossible to do with any weight.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing.
Unless
Yeah.
it's like a ridiculous in-off to get like 2 moving.
Yeah, so he's more or less. I think he's dialing. I don't know that he can even get to where he needs to get.
No, well,
Look,
he's not even throwing that hard. I think he threw it.
No,
I think
he's going
threw
for the
it
draw
away.
for 2. And I have to say, with the score, I like this. We were talking. People
Right.
behind us were talking about it. It was interesting to talk about the shot, but
It will move. It may go to like.
he does
Yeah,
not.
I think he
need-
pretty much just let
if
that
you
one
were
go.
in a tie game or you were losing, you would absolutely throw that.
Yeah, the
because
monster
it's
shot.
possibly there.
Yeah.
Well, that's no fun.
But
The warm room.
the warm
wanted
room
the
does
big
not find that shot to be fun. Oh, sorry. Yeah, he just threw the rock away. I did
Yeah, I
take
think
that
he
off.
did.
So it is going to be 1 for Mayne. I had the wrong view on there for you guys, but yeah,
Oops.
he may have been trying to throw a draw, but it was heavy, or it was.
Yeah.
But the important thing was he didn't take any risks there. He just took his
Yeah.
1. Takes a 4-point lead into the 7th. Which
Because the thing is, I don't think unless you miss that shot atrociously, which Sean's not going to, that you would ever not get your 1.
Yeah.
so yeah, more chatter about that shot in the background. Yeah, I think it is likely that he was going to get 1 even
Right,
if he
even
threw
if
it
he threw
badly. But if he's not 100% sure about that, there's no.
And the 1
with
is
the
sitting
lead.
there. So
Yeah.
if he's counting 1,
Yeah,
gives him a bigger lead. 2 ends to go.
I think he feels very confident up 4 with 2 ends to play. I
Right,
don't think he's.
right.
Yeah.
If I was up 3, I might not have.
Okay, we got ourselves a counting guard there.
Because like I said, the risk
Just
was
fine.
like minimal to
If I was up 1, I would.
Yeah, see, Michael Parkin would have thrown it.
If there had been only 1 yellow
I'd like to record the ride home.
to catch it, then I would have been a little less.
Oh, all right. That would be fun. Cheese was very close right.
The problem is scoring 1 there pretty much puts the game away anyway. It doesn't matter really. No, but I want to be done with it.
Yeah, oh, that's why Michael wanted him to make the shot. He wanted them to score 4 so they would be done.
No. I'm saying if I'm on the ice. Not
Yeah.
score the way I was.
I have to admit, I had a tough time.
I'll be right back, Craig.
Okay.
I put it somewhere where it'll stay there.
If you came back with a cookie, that would be a good thing.
Which one would you like?
Chocolate chip. Dankeschön. All right, so they go for the takeout, but they're a little bit narrow and they miss. So Ellie's calling for the takeout on the redstone right in the center. And we'll be sitting 2 with a centerline guard if she noses this. We've got a bit of a hole to crawl out of here, but I apologize for the cookie chewing noises. So she's got the take right on the nose. Actually, other stone was half biting the 12-foot, so she's got a guard, but it's not counting. Sean immediately calls for the takeout on the counting rock out in the 12-foot. Sean definitely in the driver's seat right now, up 4, 2 ends to play, or half or a third of the way through the second to last in. Definitely got the take. Probably going to lose the shooter, but he doesn't mind. Ellie actually calling for the split to put two 2 stones in play and have him and split the house. Then hope for a miss. So she definitely called the split. Like, all right, so John Corelli's stone is on its way. The sleepers are trotting along like it's got plenty of weight. Needs to curl a bit more. It's looking reasonable for the split. Okay, now they're on it. They're going to get up. They may have been a little late. Nope, that's looking good, actually. Okay, let's... Oh, here comes Ed. He's going to give us the overhead. Look, that was a very nice shot. Actually needed to sweep just a tiny bit to get the perfect split, but they'll take it. Sean will immediately counter with the... oh, actually, maybe not. He's throwing a take. It's going to be up weight because he's got almost negative ice on it. I did not see his call.
I do imagine they're hitting. Now, he's not taking a lot of ice because the ice has been running very straight. There,
right,
so
he's assuming the straight ice and the up weight.
Yeah.
And he's got the weight. And actually, he was a little bit wide of the broom that he put down. So it's going to work.
Actually, that one ended up curling quite a bit for the weight he threw because it's going to hit on the inside of the...
right.
So he was wide and... Yeah, that worked out that fine. It was a good place to put the broom because it's safe. You're not likely to miss the rock there.
So if Ellie can trade hits here and get 2, which is not, perfect, but
I think at least early in there she's kind of maybe with no guards in play, she's more hoping for a miss, and 2 again keeps her in the game.
Absolutely, hoping for a miss.
It's certainly possible to steal 2. It's not like that's a unrealistic path to getting back in the game. You take 2, steal 2.
Yeah.
Super's on this one hard, but it looks like it should be all right. Yeah, sticks it around now.
Well,
they're starting to get close to the angle.
With the hammer here,
Ellie's
gonna,
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm Michael. I'm an asshole.
Now Sean's trying to get those rocks closer together. Sometimes you'll see people. This is not a great angle. It's getting closer. It's still not a great angle for the double yet. It's a little bit. A little bit thin.
A little interesting. He could go for the in-off double here, but
but it is a little thin. He wants to get them closer together and just wait for a better opportunity. Or I don't think he's that afraid of giving up 2, but he's more.
He knows he's got stones left.
This is going to hit and roll out.
So he's going to lose his shooter here, which is fine.
The most important thing for him, realistically, is he wants to give up no more than 2.
Yeah.
If he gives up 2, he's up 2 with the hammer. He feels very, very confident. Giving up 3 is not a disaster. He's up 1, but 4 is obviously
Thursday,
right.
I had exactly that. I had a 4-stone lead. I gave up 2 in the 7th, and I was not happy. But I'm like, wait, you got the hammer? You're up 2. What's the problem?
So really, at least in a competitive setting, that's kind of that's what you should have in your mind all the time. Up 4, 2 ends left. Is that I can give 2 here. All my play should be dictated to not giving up more than 2, as opposed to anything else. That should be what you're thinking about. I will not give up more than 2.
Right.
And all your decisions are based on, will this help me give up 2 or less or score? But I mean, how does this impact the opportunity for the other team to get
shot
more
a
than 2?
little bit deep. It's going to go back into the back.
If it sticks around, it's fine. It's got to stick.
He actually swept it out of the back.
Through.
So that one drifted a little bit more than Brian wanted to, and Brian knows he missed a big one there.
He's really disappointed. Now, if it sticks in the back just an inch on, it's fine. It's just got to be. Yeah, that's unfortunate. The only thing I'll say about that is if they hit and roll out here, Ellie still has a way to play for 2 because she can freeze to that one. That one that Brian threw is still in play.
Leave it,
and freezing on top of it would put something in play that's now frozen in there.
Yes.
Still a chance to play for 2. It's just going to be a lot harder now. Or, of course, if Craig notices this and leaves a guard, they can try to come around the guard.
He's gonna just slide a little bit to the right.
Just hang on the rings by a quarter inch.
I don't know if he's biting. It doesn't.
It is. It looks over on the overhead. It looks like he's biting.
Close.
Yeah, he is. That's certainly on. It should be on.
But now.
I will say down 4. This is not the shot.
I would be freezing on the back yellow.
Yeah, freeze on the back yellow, or even drawing in front of the back yellow.
Or draw. Now she's calling the draw under
You
the
can
red.
also, that was what I was going to say,
okay.
she can also come
Yeah.
around the red rock.
Yeah, and that's because that just either way you want to get
You
a
need
counter.
something that is
Yeah.
hard to remove.
Yeah,
So,
right.
the thing here is that you would actually, normally you're trying to draw in front of the T-line. Here, I think
they're
you want to draw
sweeping
back
really
8, back
hard.
12. I actually think you want to go pretty deep if you can get there.
Yeah, it's a little bit narrow, and I think it's going to hit the guard.
Oh, they're trying. They're really trying to have it. I think it's just too late to get by. Maybe not. It's
they're
really.
sweeping hard.
It's just not going to get there.
Oh, and it comes up a little short. Again, just a little. Brian was a little gun shy, having thrown his last stone through, and comes up a little light.
Again, early enough
But
in the
it
end.
does give a guard to hide behind.
Yeah, she's got 2 rocks left. She can still play for 2 with what's in play right now.
Yeah.
It's really important in these situations. One of the most, I think, important aspects or skills that a skip can have when you get to competitive play is one of the most important skills for a skip is creativity and resourcefulness. You have to see what's in play and find ways to use it to generate offense.
Yes. Yeah.
That takes a lot of experience. Ellie clearly knows how to do that. Both of these skips do. So they're going to try to use everything that's there to make something out of nothing.
So Sean is actually just calling to clear out that guard.
Yes.
And he would be
love
happy to get rid of his guard.
He would love
too.
to get rid of both
Just open it up
and get rid of his shooter.
He does not want anything that can hide behind here.
Sean here has the opposite approach, and he's, of course, again, just from experience, it's not about counting, it's not about setting up ways to score, it's about removing all potential for 2, or as much potential as he can.
I used to be careful that he doesn't end up leaving his stone as a nice guard.
Right. Now, if he trades 2 for 1, it's still better, but he'd like to get rid of everything. If he can get rid of everything, that's the happiest situation.
He needs to hit just off the center.
Yeah, he hits,
so he spills out to the right.
Half a rock.
Yeah.
Maybe a little more, like a thick half with a lot of weight. You should get all 3.
Yeah.
I accidentally beat into a sandwich and forgot. That's how I always end.
And he definitely gave it the weight.
Oh,
so they're sweeping.
They were sweeping, I think, for line.
Yeah, for line.
It's close. This might be too thin. He's just going to get the wall. Maybe not. He might get this.
Boom.
Yeah, just over the top. He hit about a
yeah.
third of a rock and needed to be closer to a half.
No, it's never.
Got rid of the better guard, though, because that was the guard that was easier to use. I think this guard's harder to make something out of. If I was Ellie, my goal here would be to draw back 8, back 12 here. You don't want it really high. First of all, it's
you
hard
don't want
to
to
bury
leave
that
the
close.
double.
And make it hard. Make him throw a freeze rather than make him throw a 2-foot run back, 3-foot run back.
Right. So
Plus,
you put it in 8 foot behind the guard.
If you try to throw like the top 8 weight, very hard to bury behind you, and you really want to be fully buried here. Very hard to bury only 4 feet or so behind a rock. You're not giving the rock very much time to curl behind the guard at that point.
Yes.
And our ice is not swingy enough for you to really get. If you're half buried,
right.
I mean, if you're half buried, he's probably still playing the run back. But
and a half buried, well, actually, I think half buried sticking out to the right. If you're sticking out to the left, it's easier for him to come and out count it.
Sure. Yeah.
All right, Ellie. Time to put one in the house.
Another big shot here. Weight looks pretty close. Sweepers kind of are interested in going, but
are getting there. They go. The line looks good. It's going to curl in underneath. The question is whether it's got enough energy.
She's got the weight to get there. The question is, I don't know if it has the line
enough. It's going to bury, but it's going to be, there we go.
If she even gets like a
that's
half
exactly
behind, a quarter
what you
behind,
called
that's
for.
not a terrible
not
place
a bad
to
shot.
be.
Maybe a little bit closer than you wanted. You wanted
you might want to be
2 stones further back.
A quarter buried, half buried, and that's pretty much edge to edge. Maybe it's just I think it's fractionally under.
It's more like 1/3 buried.
Yeah,
so once again,
I mean,
if Sean makes this shot,
it leaves some level of difficulty to the shot, though.
Yeah,
certainly.
It's not a trivial shot.
Not at all.
Now, actually, this is one of those interesting times when lefty versus righty matters, because it's almost completely visible for Sean, because he's coming out of the left hack. So that's his advantage on this shot. Shot's on its way. He's a little wide.
It's visually easier, if nothing else. It's visually easier, if nothing else. Just that.
But I think Sean may have. He's going to get the
Nigel is really pounding this to try to get some directional sweeping, and it is not going to get there.
Oh, wow. That was making it interesting.
We're definitely playing the 8th end now, either way.
Well,
you just got to get there, Brian. Brian is talking about guarding, but it's actually the final rock of the end.
Yeah, well, come on. This is the hammer there, Brian.
Goes the hammer. So good reaction from
Ellie
Ellie.
gives him the
here.
what look, and Brian says, "Oh, okay."
We'll watch Ellie slide off here on the last rock.
Okay.
Big shot. If she can get it to a 2-point game,
That's
it's
right.
definitely some drama left in the eighth.
Shot on its way. The tendency would be to throw this a little hard with all
Yeah,
the
knowing
energy
you have the
of the
backing,
big
you're
shot.
right.
But she's got backing. She's got
it's
the
pretty
line.
close.
It's got a curl, though. It's got a curl.
If it needs the backing, it has to curl.
Yeah.
If the weight's okay, they're all right. But I don't.
Oh, the weight's actually not.
I think they're
oh,
fine.
It's still moving. It's
It's a little
gonna be
heavy,
close.
but it's stopping. It's gonna be like back 4, back 8.
Yeah, she got it. She got it. Nicely done.
And that's
All
a
right,
deuce
we
for
have
Team
ourselves a
Zaken.
game. Sean is up 2 with the hammer, but
Okay, big advantage for Team Mayne here, but
Yeah.
certainly not a
but
foregone
they're not
conclusion.
shaking.
Definitely not a foregone conclusion.
Yeah.
I think at the competitive level, I can actually look this up because we do have the computer here.
All right.
Curling Zone has some
Ed is going to dive into the curling
good analytics.
statistics.
Now, it doesn't matter because we're not talking about but let's say competitive women's play, for instance, on the World Curling Tour. A team up to with the hammer at that level has won 97
Yeah.
plus percent at a very competitive level. So it's
Right.
not
Probably
quite at that
80% for us.
level. I think it's more than 80. I think it's probably still in the 90s, but
Yeah.
less than that. I mean, well, remember, there's a lot that has to go right for the team without the hammer here.
And Sean has to miss shots here.
Right. You're not only going to have to steal 2, you're also going to have to
And then
steal
win the
again
extra
potentially,
in.
or steal 3, which is the other team knowing you need to steal big
Yeah.
is really unlikely. So Britt Bison says the quote of the match is if you came back with a cookie, that would be a good thing.
What do you say?
Your quote of the match for Craig is if you came back with a cookie, that would be a good thing.
Oh, okay.
As I said earlier. And Bobby
Yes.
points out that would be
Yeah.
a particularly good quote for if it was a comment about the team with less points. If you came back with a cookie, that would be
You come back
Good
with a
thing.
cookie.
all right. Sean throwing through here. The other option would be to play a tick shot.
A
But
wiggle or a
if
tick.
you haven't practiced that much, I understand throwing away instead.
Yeah.
Makes perfect sense. So if you want to hear me better, since that wasn't the issue, we can turn up your
It's okay.
because that was not the issue with the mics.
Okay.
So I can turn it back up a little so you can hear me in the because it gets loud in here, and we want our commentators to be able to hear each other. Just did a
Although the
little,
delay is interesting. So
just a little, but you're barely hearing me. So, yeah.
now I
So is
can
that
hear you
better?
nicely.
Yeah,
Yeah.
good.
They were making them not necessarily.
All right.
You can tell it's on like packaged, but not.
So unfortunately, Carl threw a little bit light there, and I don't know he's going to
they've
make it, but just barely.
really
It's
gotta
gonna be
get
a
this
very
over.
high guard. Oh, it's coming. It's moving. It's going to
High
come
guard's
down.
fine, but it's
Yep.
got to get over, and it will, and it'll be right on
It
the center
does.
line. You
That
actually want to
actually
keep
is
some
not- that's actually-
separation now. You don't want them to
Right.
get too close together.
Don't want to leave the easy double.
Easy, and that's far enough apart
Not
where it's
yet.
not easy. That's fine.
Yeah. And all right, so now Sean's going to try to draw in.
No, I think he's
Underneath
throwing it
those
away
guards.
again. It's a second throw through. He's just not messing with the
Yep.
rocks.
Yeah, that's what he's doing. That's fine. He's just
So, with a 2-point lead only, you might see some teams you watch. Well, first they'd probably be playing the Weagles, but
Yeah.
even the teams that don't might throw one. Try
Yeah.
to throw one top 4.
Mhm.
Of course, those teams are very precise at that level. They're not afraid of throwing another guard,
right.
and that's the danger there. If you throw to the middle with the hammer here and you leave one, worst case, behind their center guard, now you cannot peel your. Normally
Yeah.
you'd be able to peel your rock, but you can't. And now there's like an extra guard for the other team to use, and
To hide
suddenly,
under.
suddenly there's a lot of danger. So throwing it away makes sense. You're
Yep.
up 2, you should win the game if you play well. So now, when you're only up 2, it's likely Sean's going to have to throw his last rock if Zaken plays well. Team Zaken.
Yes.
But he should have probably an open hit or a fairly makeable draw.
All right, so at least trying to draw the top 12 is what the call was. The line is good at these, though. It does need to curl. I think they should come off this, actually.
Well, they just had Carl sweeping to try to
Yeah,
get
they're
it moving a
sweeping to
little.
bring it underneath the guards.
Oh, they should go now. This is great. All right.
Yeah, it's a nice shot. Top 4 under the guards.
Well, about as good as he could do there.
So let's put it this way. He missed
Ellie
the
comes
by
back
like 6 inches.
from the house with a smile. She liked that shot.
But you know what?
Couldn't ask for much better.
No.
And now the
And Sean immediately says, let's get rid of some guards.
now he should probably he's going to play it the way where the double peel is possible.
Yep.
You'd love to get rid of both. There's another thing if you only usually play at club level or you don't see many double peels, but good competitive second's going to, they're only a few feet apart, has a good chance of making
And
this
he
for
could
you.
hit to the left of the front stone from our perspective. and
Barely,
get rid of
barely
both of
off
them.
center or well off
Get rid of
center.
them, yeah.
Yeah. Oh, no, but he might just be.
No, I think he's got it. He's got it. Watch
He's
this.
got-
Boom, boom. Oh, okay.
Got one
actually,
out of there.
it didn't come back enough, and so, okay.
Yeah, needed to hit maybe a quarter stone and hit
The
more
problem
like.
with calling the line from the warm room behind the glass is it's not always a good call.
So, Craig, my hint is usually I watch the reaction of the players on the ice rather
Sure.
than trying to do it
Yeah.
with my eyes because you can't really tell unless you're. Yeah. They know usually the
Right.
players whether something's wide or not,
And you can watch the skip's body language. Will
Yeah,
tell you
absolutely.
too. Yeah.
he did effectively remove one. It was a peel, just that they just missed the double peel. They got the straight peel instead. So interested. I couldn't tell from the broom exactly what Ellie called. It could be another guard. It could be coming around a
Well,
second
whatever.
time.
It's going to be hot enough, and they probably should now play for the
this is
freeze.
going to be in, yeah.
They probably should play. It's actually going to be too hot, and it's going to split them.
Now in that case, I'd want to go by. Well, you could
Yeah,
just
it's
pick
gonna
it behind
split
the guard. That's okay. Oh,
That sets up a
could play the
possible
double.
double.
I'd be peeling the guard though. Yeah.
Right. Yep. Get rid of the guard. yeah. Don't play around, Sean. Get rid of the guard.
Correct move here to peel the guard. Yeah, definitely.
So now, but he's looking at the double, but now he's going to go back and just
Yeah.
get rid of the guard.
So
And if he hits this just right, he could actually use that front stone to take out the two in the house.
yeah, very easy.
He
Yeah,
wants
you
to
could
get rid
very
of two
easily,
stones
depending on where you hit it. Here, I think if you're going to go after that rock, you're trying to go after one.
You think he's just going for the peel?
You're going for the straight peel because the run backs really
Yeah,
again,
because
this is
they
another
could
situation.
jam
You
and
try
leave
the
them
run
counting
backs, you
too.
can very easily replace their rock in the house and leave your own guard.
Yeah.
This is just going to be a peel.
Yeah, the peel's great.
Caught in, yeah, definitely enough to get the peel. Now the only problem for Ellie is that she can't guard both of these, and at some point,
Yeah.
Sean can decide to throw the double. So that's why you don't have to throw it right away because you can only guard one. Now she should.
Well, she's thinking actually just piling them in the house. But I don't know if I like that because that sets up a possible triple.
Those rocks are all going to be so close together too that you're really asking to lose two, and
Yeah.
it's early enough in the end. This is only her fifth rock.
Mm-hmm.
Throw up a center guard. And
Now, what about?
now going where she's saying is not.
Yeah,
if
the
you're going to
angle
throw one
freeze.
in, that's where you want it to be.
But boy,
what she's
if
saying
you-
is you'd like to freeze, like corner freeze on the one that's on the getting a piece of the button on the top of the screen as I have it on the camera right now. Because then any hit on that will jam on the other yellow. The problem is it would still remove maybe two rocks.
And looks like Brian Walker's a little bit. No, it's fine. The weight's okay.
Yeah, weight might be down even.
Yeah.
Guard's not
There
bad
they go.
though. If it is a guard, I
They're
think.
gonna bump it actually.
I think you just gotta let it die now and get a guard.
Yeah, let it die up there. Make it
All right.
like a counting
Well,
guard.
The good news is there's no triple there. I mean,
Yeah.
I really would have preferred a guard.
Yeah. Like a
Still
biting
thinking
guard.
sort of long term, put the
Yeah.
guard up, and if he wants to hit the open one, then you just draw around the guard later. If he keeps peeling the guard, eventually you can throw a third
Well,
one
so
in.
he's calling for the double, but if he'll take the chip off, he'll take the peel on the front one.
Yeah, removing
That's what
anything
he
here is
showed.
pretty good. Because you'll either remove the guard, which is the thing that
Yeah.
could be used later, or you'll remove the
back
most
counter.
dangerous rock, which is the counter.
And I think we're, I don't know. They're off. Yeah, he's got to get. Now there is the field goal possibility. Now he's got the double. He's got the double. Boom, boom.
Yep. Very nice.
Yeah.
Beautiful shot there from Vice Craig Doucette.
Now, yeah, I guess this is the right shot.
Well, I
Splitting the house? What do you
Ellie's
think
looking to
about
hit
splitting
roll.
the
It's
house here?
fine. I'd freeze. Just freeze to their rock and
Yes,
make a rock
and
that's
set up,
difficult
yeah.
to remove. It's all about making your rocks difficult to remove.
Right.
You
Well,
don't
and
have to
unfortunately, she's
count.
actually going to get the peel. They needed to be sweeping here. They're going to lose their
No,
stone.
they're going to get the
I think.
roll. That's not going to be where exactly
Okay.
they want to be, but it's going to be in the house.
It's going to be counting still. Okay.
The situation's sort of setting up that if things don't change, although Sean could make the double here, if things
Yeah.
don't change, it'll probably be Sean having an open hit against two by the end of the set. That's the most likely outcome at this point.
Problem
I'd
is
say.
Ellie now has nothing to hide behind.
Yeah. And she
Sean-
has,
well,
she
Sean's
still
got
has,
the
she only
hammer.
has two rocks left also.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's interesting. Sweepers can't burn the
So she can't even afford to. She actually can. Let's see what happens there, because if they don't make the double and she's counting, she could decide to guard it.
He's gonna, I think, hit the nose here.
Yeah, they're not quite going to
They're
get
sweeping hard to hold
They're
it.
sweeping
I
hard
think
for the
they're
double.
Oh, they did. They held it enough, but not
They
enough.
held it up,
Okay,
and
not
that
enough.
is the counter. So at some point, Ellie's going to have to deal with that rock or draw around it twice, which would be the other option.
Yeah.
Not a bad idea if you really, really were confident to just draw around it.
Yes, draw
That
it in
might
the
be your
back
best
four.
path to getting to. Yeah, like back four.
Be counting in the back four, but she's
Yeah.
going for the take, though.
Is this an easier shot?
Yeah.
The result isn't as good, but that other shot, I mean, drawing around it would be extremely difficult.
And you know what? Forcing Sean to make the take out
Exactly.
for the win.
At
You
this
never
point,
know.
At this point, without that much potential left in the end, make him make his 2 shots. You know,
Yeah,
if he
that's right. Make him shoot
misses
twice.
one. Yeah.
Crazier things have happened.
You're only asking for 1 miss. It's close enough,
Yeah.
or that's all you need.
And actually, doesn't matter when it happens. But yeah, this shot or the next one.
Yeah.
While the other rock's in motion, it can get kind of tested because they're sweeping. And you're trying
All right, so
Our 12 viewers
you
getting
can say the
exciting
value
end
of the
the game
shots
here.
going up here. Everyone's got to be good. They're on it really early.
Now they have to make the hit and stay here. That's the thing.
Oh
You've
boy,
gotta
is she
stick
gonna
around.
overcurl?
It's close.
Oh, no, they got it.
they're
They
waiting
got
on
it.
it now. They feel pretty good about it.
Yeah, actually, they're going to get a
It's
little.
going to hit. It may roll towards the other one, which is okay. That leaves a really bad angle for a double.
Yeah.
I mean, Sean's likely just to hit. You can
Basically,
play for the double.
Sean has to make 2 hits.
Yeah, Sean can certainly play for the double. He's going to want to make sure he hits the rock, though. That's
right.
important.
He's got to remove a rock.
Right. So Sean, 2 shots away from a trip to the finals, where he'd take on
Yep.
Team Quan.
He's been there before.
Oh yeah, I mean,
Yep.
there are a few teams at the club who've been in the playoffs a lot the last few years. and
Yeah, I
those two
kind of
that-
wonder if Mark Zaken is regretting his trip to the Nationals. My guess is not.
I feel like he's pretty okay with his decision to go to
Given
Las
that he's
Vegas for the
watching
week.
some really, really good curling, and
Yeah.
he gets to gamble.
And he gets to gamble on the curling, which I'm a little jealous about, to be honest. We had a conversation about that before he left. So
All
Mark,
right,
hope
so
you're-
Sean's takeout is on the way, and he's certainly got contact on the stone.
yeah, it's close
I
to
think
the
he's
double.
going to just hit the nose.
He's off nose,
Yeah.
but not enough to make a double.
Yeah.
He is also 1, which forces Ellie to hit.
Yep.
Ideally, you want to hit, and just the only place you don't want to roll is anywhere near your other yellow, because you don't want to give him a
Anywhere near your
2 stone.
yellow.
You don't want to give him a 2 stone wide target.
Right, yeah.
It doesn't really matter where you are besides that, because he's just going to throw
Yeah.
an open hit and he doesn't stick around. But you don't want to be in front of your other one where you widen the target area. Make him go after a 1 stone wide target. And
Sure.
make sure you stick around. That's the most important thing of
Right,
all.
that's right. Well, she's out. It's over. So. All right, here comes Ellie. She's
Ellie
released.
releasing the right.
Little narrow, I think, but there's, no, it's not curling.
Sweepers
now.
are waiting on it, actually, there.
Yeah, they don't think it's narrow. Oh boy, it's got a curl. Here it comes.
She's going to make the hit. This is fine.
She's got the hit, and I think she might. Oh, oh no! And it is
And it
counting.
does stick around.
All right, Sean Mayne's got to make his draw, or just take one
Well,
out.
he will
He'll
probably
just take one out.
play the hit here, yeah.
Yeah.
There it is.
All right, Sean Mayne for the win. He's just got to get rid of 1 stone. Actually, he doesn't even need to get rid of it. He just needs to be,
He's out count something in it.
That's right.
By
He's
hook or by
outcount
crook.
something by getting rid of it. Or, yeah.
So, but he is going to play the hit.
Yeah.
Gonna hit one of them.
Yeah,
That's
just has to
right.
make contact. They're very
Pretty
close. to it.
simple
If he- if he-
shot. Barring his falling coming
So,
out of the hack, this should be over.
We talked about where he didn't want to be, and that was actually even worse than being right in front of it, because it left him like a 2.5 foot wide, 2.5 rock wide target.
Yes, he's got it.
Oh, he's playing the double that.
Yeah. yeah, boom.
And he hits it,
and
and
counts.
he does roll in for 1.
All right, Sean Mayne with the win, heading towards the finals. It'll take a little bit before the finals start. We're going to have to prep the ice and give them a short break.
Yeah, we will. So your final is 7-4.
All right, so I just hit the.
We'll turn it off.
I'll turn them off. Okay, I'll do it.
So that's the end of our semifinal game. Team Mayne wins 7-4, and they'll move on to the final, where they'll be playing Team Quan. That game should start sometime in the next 15 or 20 minutes, I imagine.
prepping the ice?
And would you like to?
Well, I don't know. If somebody
Yeah.
else is already on.
I don't know if we have a person put aside to prep the ice for the next draw, but I can also go out there and help. So, yeah, I'll ask around in a second. So we'll be back. We're gonna cut off the broadcast and come back with a fresh stream for the finals. So, in the end, final score: Team Mayne 7, Team Zaken 4 in the Nutmeg Tuesday night semifinal, and we'll see you in a bit for the final.